Chapter 340. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that he couldn't help the Night Moon dynasty, so it was pointless to worry. The Night Moon dynasty is a real royal family. Back then, they came out of the Night Moon Sea and conquered the world. In the future, they will definitely come out again. However, they were schemed against in the last battle, so their vitality was greatly damaged and they need to rest, Sikong Chiyu said. Don't worry, I'm fine. I will only work hard to cultivate. If I were a child of the Night Moon dynasty, I would be able to help when the Night Moon dynasty counterattacks, Night Sorrow said. You are right. Don't think too much about the past. Look forward to the future. You can conquer the world, Sikong Chiyu said as he handed Night Sorrow a cup of water. Night Sorrow nodded and took a sip of the tea from Sikong Chiyu's hand. Don't worry, you two. I know that my parents care about me, so I will be fine, Night Sorrow said. When there is news from Tianji Tower, and we buy a house, we will stay here for a while. We have nothing to do anyway, Yonglei said. If the Golden Flame sect doesn't attack the Medicine Valley, then we will be fine. If they attack the Medicine Valley, then it will be more troublesome. We will have to go back, Night Sorrow said. For the time being, they shouldn't. I heard from the first elder that old Ghost John of the Golden Flame sect has been in seclusion. A virtual sky can't do anything to the Medicine Valley, Yonglei said. She was an elder of the Medicine Valley, so she knew some things. Z had hair. Then I am relieved. Night Sorrow nodded. But if we have time, we have to go back to Bamboo Garden Village. Your spiritual liquid origin may improve Old Man Gu's body, Yonglei said. All right. Upon hearing this news, Night Sorrow's eyes lit up. Being able to improve Father Gu's body was something that Night Sorrow was very hopeful of. Also a few words. The Myriad Daos Become God's book is first published by Cool Craftsman. There's no need to subscribe. You can be the first to see the book's updates. Brothers who are reading books on other websites, can you please support Cool Craftsman? Be it mobile phones or computers, just Baidu Cool Craftsman's Myriad Daos Become Gods. Shizi needs everyone's support. Thank you. In the next few days, other than cultivating and resting in the inn, Night Sorrow and the other two would walk around Dongxian City when they had nothing to do. They also gained a better understanding of Dongxian City. The strongest force in Dongxian City was the City Lord's Manor. Baidu search, AI Go Female Sign Shao Say, www.aichuxs. Com. The Black Iron Guards of the City Lord's Manor had a cultivation base of at least the 4th stage. When the Black Iron Guards killed someone, no one would ask for the reason. This was because the person who was killed was definitely seeking death. In Dongxian City, the Black Iron Guards were the symbol of strength and justice. Next was Tianji Tower. Tianji Tower had powerful guards. If anyone dared to provoke Tianji Tower, they would be mercilessly annihilated. No one doubted the strength of Tianji Tower. Another was a very special organization, Hall of Assassins. The Hall of Assassins was located in a bustling area. There were 3 luxurious storefronts, and only an old man with no cultivation was in charge. The rest were ordinary servants and maids. But no one dared to cause trouble here. Even if it was a 5th-rank cultivator, if they dared to cause trouble in this attic, they would not live to see the next day. Their corpses would even be displayed here. This was the deterrence of the Hall of Assassins. Baidu search, AI Go Female Sign Shao Say, www.aichuxs. Com. Hall of Assassins was an organization of assassins. All they took were hunting missions. There was only a price you couldn't afford to pay. There was no one they couldn't kill. If they kill people as they please, wouldn't the world be in chaos? Night Sorrow asked after learning about the Hall of Assassins. They have their own rules. If you want to kill someone who hasn't done anything wrong, you'll have to pay a high price. If you want to kill someone with great influence, you might not even be able to pay with your entire family's fortune. We don't even need to think about the price of killing a venerable, Sikong Chiyu said. That's good. If they kill people indiscriminately, then the world will be in chaos, Night Sorrow said. Hall of Assassins isn't an evil organization. In history, there have been cases where Hall of Assassins killed a venerable for a piece of silver, Sikong Chiyu said. A piece of silver killed a venerable? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu in surprise. Yes. It was a mission given by a child who crawled to the entrance of the Hall of Assassins with a knife in his abdomen. A venerable killed the child's entire family in order to snatch a refining material, Sikong Chuyu said. That child deserved to be killed. It's just that the child is very pitiful, Young Lei said. Perhaps the child was very pitiful back then. But later on, he was the only one who pitied others. He later became a top assassin of the Hall of Assassins. The price he paid for killing people was a piece of silver. He wasn't famous in the Eastern Xian domain. In other regions he was a taboo, Sikong Chuyu said. Very inspirational. That's how a person should be. Night Sorrow was very excited. Only with a firm heart and a persistent perseverance could he have such achievements. While the three were chatting, Lei Hua arrived. Behind him was a man in embroidered clothes. Senior. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted him. It's good to know more about certain things. If you look at a matter objectively, you will realize that there is a reason for its existence, Lei Hua said as he sat down. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. This is Steward Lin of the City Lord's Mansion. A few days ago, the City Lord's Mansion killed a corrupt official. He has a courtyard. The location is very good, and the environment is not bad, Lei Hua said. What about the price? Night Sorrow asked. You were introduced by Senior Lei. The price won't be too high. It will be fine as long as I can report back to the City Lord's Mansion, Steward Lin said. Then let's go take a look, Night Sorrow said. After leaving the inn, they all got on their flying mounts and went to the house Steward Lin mentioned. The house was located on the 2nd street behind the main commercial street. It was a residential street. The location was not far from the City Lord's Mansion, Tianji Tower, and the teleportation circle. It was a very good area. The courtyard was very grand. There were majestic stone sculptures of strange beasts at the entrance. After entering, the courtyard was very stylish. There were ancient trees, a lotus pond, and precious ornamental fish. There were wing rooms on both sides, and in the middle was an archway. After passing through the archway, there was another courtyard with a waterside pavilion and garden. Behind it was the main building and the auxiliary attic. Actually, the buildings here are not important. The location and area are valuable, Steward Lin said. The location and style here are good. The rooms can be renovated. How much is the price? Night Sorrow asked. He had seen many houses some time ago and knew that such houses were the best. 30 high-grade spirit stones will do. If it's not convenient for you, you can hand it in later, Steward Lin said. This price is very suitable. I can hand it in now. Here are a few pieces. Please have some tea, Steward Lin. Night Sorrow took out 30 high-grade spirit stones and handed them to Steward Lin. Then he took out 5 pieces and handed them over. Chapter 341. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? Shuoth.net provides you with wonderful novels to read. Alright, keep it. You're in charge of this area. Tell the patrols to pay more attention to this area. If anyone comes to cause trouble, kill them without mercy, Lei Hua said. Understood. This is the deed for the house and the land. After you sign this one, I'll bring it back for the record. Keep this one. Steward Lin took out 2 sets of materials and a pen. Night Sorrow took the pen and signed his name. Night Sorrow, you might not like the layout that others like, mainly because they might not like it. Clean it up yourself. Steward Lin, Night Sorrow just came to Dongxian City and is unfamiliar with the place. Can you arrange for the workers? Lei Hua said. Alright, I'll arrange it. They'll come later. Steward Lin nodded. Then I'll pay you first. Night Sorrow took out the crystals again. Don't. Craftsmen don't cost much. With the materials, you won't even need to use up a piece of top-grade crystal. Young master, you don't have to be so polite. Steward Lin waved his hand and bowed to Lei Hua before leaving the courtyard. Cultivators have traveled all over the world, but they also need a warm home and a place to stay. It's not bad to clean up this place, Lei Hua said with a smile. Thank you, Senior. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Lei Hua. It's nothing. You have a fixed location, so it's easy for us to find you. If you have any business, just go to Tianji Tower. When I'm not around, you can just tell Chief Enforcer In Shui and Elder Ho Yu on the same thing. Lei Hua smiled and left. The layout here is not bad. We can just tear down these buildings and rebuild them, Yang Lei said. Yes, we can redesign it. But we can't move in for a few days after cleaning up the place, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry, we'll go to the inn tonight. Yang Lei didn't find it troublesome. She was happy that everything was going smoothly. Night Sorrow could be considered to have established himself in Dongxian City. It probably won't take more than a few days, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was in a good mood after buying this house. How about this? You two stay here and wait for the craftsman. I'll go to our stronghold in the Medicine Valley and ask Elder Chu to send the butler here. We need someone to take care of things here, Yang Lei said. Okay, Chu Yu and I will wait here for the craftsman. Ninth senior sister, you go and arrange other things. Night Sorrow nodded. It was not suitable for this house to be empty at the moment. Look at the original C chapter, /top plus Yang Lei rode the green condor and left. Night Sorrow took out some animal skins and made a shack. Sikong Chiyu started to make tea. While Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu were drinking tea, more than 20 craftsmen arrived at the residence, led by Steward Lin. Young master, these are all craftsmen. There are also workers behind to transport the materials. You can just tell them what to do, Steward Lin said. Thank you for your hard work, Steward Lin, Night Sorrow said apologetically. It's nothing, young Master Knight is too polite. Master Zhang, this is young Master Knight. I won't say anything else. You should understand, Steward Lin said to the craftsman. After that, Steward Lin left. Young Master, young Mistress, do you have any requests for the reconstruction of this house? Master Zhang asked. Do you have a pen and paper? I'll draw, Sikong Chiyu said. Master Zhang took out a pen and paper and handed it to Sikong Chiyu. Night Sorrow, come, let's draw an idea. Sikong Chiyu waved at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow explained his idea, and Sikong Chiyu made suggestions. The drawing was drawn. Chiyu, your drawing is very good, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the drawing that Sikong Chiyu casually drew. It's not difficult to draw a drawing. I'm good at zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting. I wonder if ninth senior sister is satisfied with this? Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. While Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu were talking, Yang Lei rode the Green Eagle and landed with 2 elders from the Medicine Valley outpost. Night Sorrow, this is Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng from the Medicine Valley. Elder Chu felt that they needed to enjoy their old age, so he asked me to bring them here. Yang Lei introduced them to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow greets Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng. Night Sorrow saluted the old couple. Elder Yang, how should we address him? Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng looked at Yang Lei and asked. His name is Night Sorrow, the 13th disciple of my master. You can call him 13, Yang Lei said. 13th young master. Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng bowed to Night Sorrow. Uncle Feng, Aunt Feng, since you're here, we're family. If you're too polite, you can call me Night Sorrow. This is my fiancée, Sikong Chiyu. You can call her Chiyu. Night Sorrow quickly helped Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng up. Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng stood up and greeted Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu again. Then Yang Lei asked Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng to familiarize themselves with the place. The problem with the servants hasn't been solved yet. Let's go to the servant market and buy a few later, Yang Lei said as she looked at the busy craftsmen in the courtyard. The loyalty of the servants and maidservants isn't easy to deal with, Night Sorrow said. That's what you don't understand. The servants have a way to control them. They've all been placed with soul-breaking crystals. Sikong Chiyu explained to Yishang. In the eastern Xian region and even other places, there were many bandits and thieves. After they were eliminated, the good-looking and strong ones would be controlled and have a soul-breaking crystal placed on their heads. The soul-breaking crystal was a special item. When a crystal was cut in half, one would shatter and the other would shatter. Therefore, once a soul-breaking crystal was placed on someone's head, their life would be controlled by others unless they wanted to die. Then let's go and buy 2. I don't want too many. I like the quietness. Night Sorrow nodded. Then he asked Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng to watch over the place. Night Sorrow and the other 2 rode on their flying demonic beasts and arrived at the eastern Xian city's servant market. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu chose 2 delicate and pretty girls. Knight Sorrow casually looked around. He didn't have any requirements as long as Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu liked them. As they strolled around, Knight Sorrow saw a special scene. A man with long hair was bending down to protect a 6- or 7-year-old child. A merchant was using a leather whip to whip him. The leather whip made cracking sounds as it hit the man's body. The man's expression didn't change as he tightly hugged the boy in his arms. The boy hugged the middle-aged man's neck and cried, "Father, I won't leave you." "Won't leave? I'll whip you to death." The merchant continued to swing his whip. "Stop." Yi Shang's heart was touched, and he hurriedly shouted, "These are my goods. What do you want?" The pot-bellied merchant looked at Knight Sorrow and asked, "Nothing. Since they are goods, you have to sell them, right? What's the price?" Knight Sorrow asked. Chapter 342. Genius 1 Second. Remember Love Go/Small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I'll take them all. Knight Sorrow said. Someone has reserved the small one, and it will be sent away soon. The big one will cost 10 mid-grade spirit stones. The merchant said, 15 mid-grade spirit stones, I'll buy 2. Knight Sorrow continued, No, the small one has been sold. The merchant shook his head. 20. Knight Sorrow was ready to raise the price. 30. Before the merchant could say anything, Knight Sorrow continued to raise the price. Don't talk nonsense with him. Buy the big one first. If someone wants to buy the small one, we'll buy it at a high price. Even if we have money, we won't let profiteers off. Yang Lei said angrily. Only be original W. Edition. He is a pirate 2B edition. I'll sell. Hearing Yang Lei's words, the merchant became anxious. Then Knight Sorrow gave the merchant 30 mid-grade spirit stones and took a piece of soul-breaking crystal. Then he left the servant market with the middle-aged man holding the child. After leaving the servant market, Knight Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu returned to the house on their flying demonic beasts with the servants they bought. As soon as they got off the flying demonic beast, the middle-aged man put down the child and knelt down in front of Knight Sorrow. Get up and tell me what you want. A man should stand even in death. Knight Sorrow pulled the middle-aged man up. This is the first time I'm begging someone. My wife is still in the hands of bad guys. I want to save her. If I don't die, my life is yours. If I die, please treat this child well. The middle-aged man said. Where is your wife? Can you find her? Knight Sorrow asked with a frown. She's in Black Dragon Village. My family was caught by them. My wife is still there. Because she refused to submit, they sold me and my son to a servant merchant today. The middle-aged man said. You were caught back then. You can go now? What's the highest cultivation level there? Yang Lei asked. It's an early void inquiry stage expert. My father was a third void inquiry stage expert. He was killed by the 2 of them. The middle-aged man said. 9th senior sister, what do you think? Knight Sorrow asked. Kill them. Yang Lei's fiery temper flared up. Sikong Chiyu also nodded. The behavior of Wulong village was disgusting. Uncle Feng, Aunt Feng, take care of this child and check his injuries. Knight Sorrow informed Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng before releasing the flying demon beast and taking off with the middle-aged man. Black Dragon Village was less than 1,000 miles away from Dongxian City. It was just a small village that had some connections with Dongxian City, so it often caught some hunters and sold them as servants. Leaving Dongxian City took a long time. The distance from Knight Sorrow's residence to the outskirts of Dongxian City was more than 1,000 li. After 4 hours, they arrived at Black Dragon Village. Is there a soul-breaking crystal installed on your wife? Yang Lei looked at the middle-aged man and asked. I don't think so. Mine was installed on me this morning. The middle-aged man said. Let's save her first. This way, we won't be restrained in battle. Knight Sorrow said. Under the middle-aged man's lead, the 4 of them knocked out a few guards and arrived at the dungeon. In the dungeon, Knight Sorrow saw a woman who was hung up with blood all over her body. Knight Sorrow pressed down on the middle-aged man who was agitated. He wielded the reincarnation spear, opened the dungeon door, and put the unconscious woman down. Ninth senior sister, there is more than one void inquiry stage expert here. We need to take care of the injured. It's not suitable for us to fight. Night Sorrow said. Then let's leave first. When we are ready, we will come back and destroy this place. Even though Yang Lei had a fiery temper, she was not irrational. When Night Sorrow and the others got out of the dungeon and got on their flying demonic beasts, they were discovered by the people of Black Dragon Village. After reaching the Void Inquiry stage, one's detection ability would be very strong. Black Dragon Village did not cover a large area. Those who were observant would be able to discover the situation easily. When the people of Black Dragon Village surrounded them, the flying demonic beasts of Night Sorrow and the others also rose to the sky. After Tianyu, the Fire Phoenix and the Green Condor took off, the flying demonic beasts of Black Dragon Village also appeared. Ninth senior sister, come here. Sikong Chiyu called out to Yang Lei. Among the mounts of Night Sorrow and the others, the Green Condor was the slowest. At this moment, the middle-aged man and the injured woman were on Tianyu's back. Sikong Chiyu called out to Yang Lei to get on her Fire Phoenix. Yang Lei kept the Green Condor and landed on the back of the Fire Phoenix in a flash. Night Sorrow directly shot a rotten bone eagle tooth at the flying demonic beasts of Black Dragon Village. Then he took out his reincarnation spear. The flying demonic beast that was shot by the rotten bone eagle tooth screamed in agony and fell from the sky. After that, the people of Black Dragon Village shouted angrily and did not continue to chase after them. Sikong Chiyu and Yang Lei had already made them feel pressured. In addition, Night Sorrow's hidden weapon that killed the flying demonic beast in an instant also made them feel afraid. After leaving the area of Black Dragon Village, Night Sorrow waved at Yang Lei. Ninth senior sister, come and take a look at her injuries. Yang Lei moved to Tianyu's back and Night Sorrow moved to the Fire Phoenix's back. The two of them exchanged positions. Yang Lei wanted to take a look at the woman's injuries. It was inconvenient for Night Sorrow to do so. After all, there was a difference between men and women. It's too vicious. Her legs are broken. Sikong Chiyu said to Night Sorrow. We don't have the confidence to win now. Let's wait and see. Night Sorrow was also very angry. At the same time, he was also somewhat helpless. This was the way of the world. Today's incident touched Night Sorrow greatly, especially the scene where the middle-aged man used his back to block the whip for the child. Yi Shang had bought the two of them because this middle-aged man was a great father. His face was expressionless as he carried the whip, but his eyes were full of love. This scene was worth Yi Shang's help. Soon they returned to the house in Dongxian City. Let her rest for a while. Her legs and internal injuries need to be healed slowly. Yang Lei said to the middle-aged man. My life is yours from now on. Ning Yin greets you. Ning Qingfeng pulled the child in front of Night Sorrow and was about to greet Night Sorrow. You don't have to be so polite. This is your soul-breaking crystal. See how to deal with it. Night Sorrow threw the soul-breaking crystal to Ning Qingfeng. He knew that Ning Qingfeng was a man and didn't want to threaten him. Today he was just helping him morally. Sir, what are you doing? Holding the soul-breaking crystal, Ning Qingfeng looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Everyone has their own difficulties, and everyone has their own misfortune. Today's matter is nothing. Once your wife recovers, you can leave, Yi Shang said. Sir, you can't look at me like that. Whether I have the soul-breaking crystal or not, my life is yours. I dare not forget your kindness. Ning Qingfeng bowed and said, Uncle, don't drive us away. Our house was burned by bad people. Ning Yin said with tears in her eyes. Chapter 343. Genius remembers love in 1 second / small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Ning Qingfeng's 7th level spirit severing stage cultivation was not low. Even among the second-generation disciples of the Medicine Valley, he was considered one of the best. His wife was also at the 4th level of the spirit severing stage. It's up to you guys. This place is being rebuilt, so it's not suitable for living. Why don't you guys stay in the inn first and come back later? Night Sorrow said as he looked at the busy craftsmen in the house. Don't worry, we can just get a tent. Ning Qingfeng said. Okay, these two are Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng. We will all live together in the future. You guys can get to know each other. Night Sorrow introduced Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng to Ning Qingfeng. Then everyone separated. Ning Qingfeng planned to go back and collect his father's body, while Night Sorrow and the other two returned to the inn. Read on the $C genuine edition. Ning Qingfeng's wife was injured, but there was no problem with Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng taking care of her. People from the Medicine Valley had no problem treating injuries. While staying in the inn, Night Sorrow cultivated his true qi and the myriad Dao Tome at night, and the 7-star brilliant moon spear during the day. Night Sorrow became more and more proficient in the 7-star brilliant moon spear technique. Every time he waved his hand, he would shoot out 4 spears. At the same time, he could also combine the 4 spears into one. Night Sorrow also skillfully added the vibration force to the reincarnation spear. As for the wave force, Night Sorrow could freely control it to appear on the spear's body and tip. It was the follow-up of the spiral tendon and wave force. After staying in the inn for 4 days, Night Sorrow and the other two returned to the house. The house was completely different from the original. The layout was solemn before, but now it was fresh. 13th Young Master, if you buy some more bamboo, it will be similar to the scenery in the Medicine Valley. Uncle Feng said with a smile. There are still some imperfections here. Uncle Feng, here are the mid-grade spirit stones and gold notes. Please take care of the household expenses. Night Sorrow took out a bag of mid-grade spirit stones and gold notes and handed them to Uncle Feng. All right, don't worry, 13th Young Master. Uncle Feng did not stand on ceremony. He did have some savings, but it was not enough to support such a big family. At this time, Ning Qingfeng supported his wife and led Ning Yin to Night Sorrow and the others. He bowed and greeted them. Don't be like this, you're too polite. Why are you still living in the shack? Isn't the house ready? Night Sorrow saw Ning Qingfeng and his wife coming out of the shack. 13th Young Master, you have to make the arrangements. We need to have a rule, Uncle Feng said. Uncle Feng, in the future you can make the decisions for these things. I don't have so many rules. Since we've entered this place, we're family, Night Sorrow said. Uncle Feng nodded and led Ning Qingfeng's family and 2 maidservants to make the arrangements. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chiyu passed through several attics in the courtyard and came to the backyard. Generally speaking, in a house with a front yard and a backyard, the front yard was for the servants and the backyard was for the master. The attics next to the door were usually for the guards, and the housekeeper lived in the middle. Not bad, I like the style here. Looking at the small building in the backyard that had a fresh air, Yi Shan was very satisfied. The front and middle is yours. 9th senior sister and I live on both sides. The side is the guest room. In the future, senior brother and senior sister will have a place to stay, Sikong Chiyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. It was good that the house occupied a large area. In addition to the attics, there was also a garden, a waterside pavilion, and a small martial arts arena. These were all designed by Sikong Chiyu when she was drawing. The 3 of them looked around casually. Every attic had a cultivation room made of obsidian. It was a material that could isolate sound and energy. In addition, every attic had a bath made of firestone. The characteristic of firestone was that the temperature was moderate. It could raise the temperature of cold water to the point where it could be used for bathing. Love go little say W. Chu Steward Lin really put in a lot of effort, Sikong Chiyu said. She had only asked for a bath and a secret cultivation room. She did not ask for any materials. These good materials must have been arranged by Steward Lin. Lei Hua had personally arranged for Night Sorrow's house to let Steward Lin know that Lei Hua valued Night Sorrow. Therefore, he was especially concerned about Night Sorrow's matters. In Dongxian City, if one's vision and methods were not sophisticated enough, one would not last long. At noon, the 2 maidservants and Aunt Feng prepared the meal. Aunt Feng, you can arrange for them to do this in the future. I didn't bring you here to make you suffer. If there aren't enough servants, we can buy more, Night Sorrow said. Okay. Aunt Feng nodded gratefully. It's true that the 2 of you are maidservants that we bought, but we won't be harsh on you. After 2 years, Aunt Feng will return the soul-breaking crystal to you. It's up to you whether you want to stay or leave, Night Sorrow said to the 2 maidservants. Thank you, young master. The 2 maidservants bowed. They had been worried for the past few days that they would meet their violent master. Now Night Sorrow's attitude made them feel much more at ease. As for the two of you, I won't stop you if you want to stay or leave. As long as you stay, we are family. Night Sorrow looked at Ning Qingfeng and his wife, Han Lin. Young master saved our lives. We husband and wife will never forget. Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin both stood up and said, well, everyone can be more casual in the future. Living under the same roof, it's uncomfortable to be too restrained. Let's eat. Night Sorrow said. After eating, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. Yang Lei, Sikong Chuyu, Uncle Feng, Aunt Feng, and Aunt Feng chatted while the two maidservants cleaned up. Yang Lei gave Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin some healing pills. After experiencing this ordeal, both of them needed to recover. Thank you, master. Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin were very grateful. Since you decided not to leave, then you don't need to be polite. Just call me Yang Lei, and we will call you Big Brother Ning and sister-in-law. Yang Lei said. She had a good impression of Ning Qingfeng and his wife. Husband and wife love each other deeply, and knowing how to repay kindness were very good qualities. After staying in the front courtyard for a while, the two women returned to the backyard to watch Night Sorrow cultivate. Moreover, they also had to cultivate. The following days were peaceful. Night Sorrow cultivated every day without leaving the house. At night, he cultivated the myriad Dao Tome and True Qi, and during the day, he cultivated the 7-star Brilliant Moon Spear. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu went out for a walk every day. Sometimes, they would take Han Lin and Ning Yin with them, while Ning Qingfeng acted as a guard. On this day, Yang Lei and others went out shopping. Night Sorrow had just finished cultivating when Lei Hu came, followed by a man in blood-red clothes. Senior is here. Night Sorrow wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, good, your cultivation has improved very quickly. Come, let me introduce you. This is Commander Feng Lifeng. Lei Hu sat down and introduced Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow greets Commander Feng. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the man in blood-red clothes. You are too polite. This commander knows about your situation. Very good. The man in blood-red clothes nodded towards Night Sorrow. Chapter 344. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. At this moment, Night Sorrow was looking at Ardent Wind, who was dressed in blood-stained clothes. He couldn't see through Ardent Wind's cultivation, but he could feel that Ardent Wind's aura was very violent and had a baleful aura. He knew that this was the aura that had been accumulated from killing countless people. Ardent Wind is the commander of the City Lord Mansion's guards. If you are willing, you can join the Dongxian City's guards. This way, you will have an additional identity, and it will be more convenient for you in the future. Lei Hu said, Senior, I have a lot of things to do. I don't have the time to patrol or carry out missions. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. The guards under this commander will not carry out any missions easily. They will only take action when there is a threat to Dongxian City. The missions are usually cultivation missions, and the same goes for mid-level guards. If you can, then this lord can give you the identity of a law enforcer. Ardent Wind said. What's the difference? Night Sorrow asked. Ordinary guards need to gather for training and cultivation, but law enforcers don't need to. They just need to participate in big events. In Dongxian City, other than the City Lord Mansion's elders and protectors, no one can order you around. Ardent Wind said. Then tell me your requirements. Night Sorrow thought for a while and asked. He felt that it was necessary to have an identity to survive in Dongxian City, a place where dragons and snakes mix together. This lord will use the late stage of the spirit-severing realm. If you can withstand for the time it takes to brew a cup of tea, then you will have the qualifications to become a law enforcer. Ardent Wind said. Night Sorrow took out the reincarnation spear from his back and nodded at Ardent Wind. Ardent Wind stretched out his right arm, and a 5-foot-long battle blade appeared in his hand. He then slashed it at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's body moved horizontally, and he waved his spear 4 times to meet Ardent Wind's battle blade. Ding! Ding! Asterisk ding! Asterisk 4 consecutive sounds rang out as the spear light with a strong penetrating force landed on Ardent Wind's warblade. Not only did it block Ardent Wind's attack, it even forced Ardent Wind to retreat a few steps. Ardent Wind's expression changed as he stomped on the ground. His body rose into the air, and once again slashed down at Night Sorrow. The 3-feet-long blade light carried a biting cold killing intent. Night Sorrow moved horizontally and waved the reincarnation spear in his hand, thrusting 4 times consecutively towards Ardent Wind's battle blade. After finishing the 4 spear strikes, Night Sorrow's body moved in a semicircle while his right arm continuously swung. Every time the reincarnation spear struck out, there would be 4 spear strikes. The spear lights would all land at the same place. Sometimes they would attack Ardent Wind's battle blade, and sometimes they would stab Ardent Wind's body. Love go little, say, Ardent Wind's face was cold and solemn as he waved his saber to block Night Sorrow's spear light. After exchanging a few blows, Ardent Wind's battle blade slashed horizontally, intending to clash head-on with Night Sorrow. At this moment, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was thrusting towards Ardent Wind's chest. Seeing that Ardent Wind wanted to meet him head-on, the energy of the myriad Tao Tome in his body suddenly burst forth. The energy entered the spear body and unleashed the vibrating force. This did not affect the strength of the spiraling force unleashed by his true chi. You're asking for it. Seeing that Night Sorrow's spear momentum did not change, Ardent Wind let out a low roar. He increased the strength of his battle blade and continued to slash towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. He completely ignored Night Sorrow's 4 spear lights, because as long as he could shake off Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear, the threat of this spear would no longer exist. Bang! After the 2 weapons clashed, the collision of energy produced an explosive sound. Night Sorrow's weapon let out a buzzing sound, and the powerful energy vibrated, shaking off Ardent Wind's battle blade. At the same time, the speed of this spear thrust became even more ferocious, and the spear light directly shot out. This scene caused Ardent Wind's expression to change greatly. Instantly, a protective chi barrier appeared on his body, and he quickly retreated. Chi. With a hissing sound, Ardent Wind's protective chi barrier was pierced through. However, his retreating speed was fast enough, so he was not injured. Is this enough? Lei Hua stood up and said. Ardent Wind nodded and looked towards Night Sorrow. This commander has lost this match. Your spear art is very tyrannical, and there are very few people within the 4th step who can contend against you. This is the Dongxian City's law enforcement token. With this token you can mobilize the city's patrol team and Black Iron Guards. There are also some other privileges, which you will slowly understand in the future. After speaking, Ardent Wind threw a red token to Night Sorrow. Then it's settled. Commander Wind, later on, bring Night Sorrow to meet the Black Iron Guard captains in this area. It will be easier for us to communicate in the future. In addition, let Night Sorrow know some of the rules of Dongxian City. Night Sorrow, there are some things that I don't want others to know. Be careful. Lei Hua said. He knew that Night Sorrow might not think about bringing Manager Lin and Ardent Wind here, but with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu's intelligence, they would be able to see some things. Nodding towards Night Sorrow, Lei Hua and Ardent Wind left the house. #KK First TX Elder. This young man is very powerful. If this subordinate doesn't use his 5th step cultivation in the end, he will be seriously injured, Ardent Wind said after leaving Night Sorrow's house. Yes, he is young, talented, and has strong combat ability. He is a seedling that needs to be paid attention to. The city lord also values him, so you must know, Lei Hua said. This subordinate understands. Ardent Wind nodded. Tonight, bring Yi Shan and the Black Iron Guards to meet with the subordinates. After dealing with this matter, bring the blood-robed guards to the Golden Flame Sect's territory and wait for orders, Lei Hua instructed Ardent Feng. While Night Sorrow was studying the token, Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei returned. What token is this? Seeing Night Sorrow studying the token, Yang Lei took it. Dongxian City's law enforcement token, Night Sorrow said. Law enforcement token? That's even higher than the Black Iron Guard's captain. How did you get it? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in astonishment. Then, Yi Shang explained what had just happened. The commander came personally? Tianji Tower's reputation isn't high enough for the City Lord's Mansion's commander to do such a thing. It seems that Senior Lei's identity is not simple, Sikong Chiyu said. Yes, he said that there are some things that he wants to keep a secret. He doesn't want others to know. Knight Sorrow nodded. Is that so? But that's good. With official connections in the eastern Xian region, the other forces won't be a threat to us. Otherwise, people would covet such a powerful house, Yang Lei said. In the evening, Knight Sorrow rode the Tianyu to the City Lord's mansion. There, Knight Sorrow met Steward Lin and Commander Feng. Steward Lin, bring him to see the Dongxian City's officials and law enforcement rules. This commander will call the Black Iron Guards over, Ardent Feng said. After entering a study, Steward Lin handed Knight Sorrow a small booklet. Nodding, Knight Sorrow began to study it. Since he had become Dongxian City's law enforcement, there were some rules that he had to abide by. After reading for a while, Knight Sorrow understood how strict the Dongxian City's official rules were. The official rules and the law enforcement rules were completely different. The officials had to prioritize the benefits and stability of Dongxian City. If they bullied others for personal benefits, the outcome would be death. Chapter 345. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. While Knight Sorrow was looking at the law enforcement rules, Ardent Wind brought a few men in black armor into the room. Come, let me introduce you. This is Knight Sorrow, the night enforcer. He lives in the back street not far from here. If there is any problem, you can go and find him. If there is any problem, you have to support him immediately. Knight Sorrow, these are Captain Lu Jun, Captain Fan Zhongxiao, and Captain Zheng Cheng. Ardent Wind introduced the two parties. Lu Jun, Fan Zhongxiao, and Zheng Cheng cupped their hands towards Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow also bowed in return. Don't underestimate Knight Sorrow. I was at a disadvantage when I used my spirit-severing Stage 9 cultivation. Rank 4 cultivators are no match for him. Ardent Wind said. Subordinate understands. Lu Jun and the other two bowed. Be more serious. Your cultivation is higher than Knight Sorrow's, but in terms of combat skills, you are far inferior to him. Knight Sorrow's energy usage skills are not something you can catch up to. If you have time, you can learn from each other. Ardent Wind emphasized again. Knight Sorrow exchanged a few words with everyone, left a few jars of wine, and left. Wine might be the best medium for communication between men. Only see a positive I version, its I he is a B version. After Knight Sorrow left, Ardent Wind and the others opened up the wine jars. Baidu search, AI go female sign shall say, www.aichuxs.com. Commander. Why did you arrange Knight Sorrow to be a law enforcer? Our guard team has no use for such a young master soldier. Zheng Cheng said. That's true. What is his background? Why does Commander have to give him face? Fan Zhongxiao also said. Do you think that I am flattering him and giving him face? Now, I am telling you seriously that I am not flattering him. If he was at the same cultivation level, the three of you together would not be his match. Ardent Wind put down the wine jars and looked at the three of them with a serious face. Commander, are you serious? Lu Jun looked at Feng Lai's solemn face and asked. Of course. When have we ever taken in a young master soldier? The other party was powerful. Love go little, say Ardent Wind frowned as he spoke. He was somewhat dissatisfied with Lu Jun's group's contempt. We understand. At this moment, Lu Jun and the other two withdrew their contempt. After opening the bottle, Ardent Wind's group of 4 drank to their satisfaction. The main reason was that Knight Sorrow's wine was to their liking. Old Zheng, let's go and ask for advice tomorrow and the day after. Let's see how powerful our night enforcement is, said Lu Jun. You guys are aiming for his wine. However, you have to take my words to heart. In terms of combat skills, you guys are trash in front of him. Ardent Wind carried the last jar of wine, and left under the eager gazes of Lu Jun and the other two. Knight Sorrow returned to the house and began cultivating. In the past, when he came out of Bamboo Garden Village, Knight Sorrow felt that a second stage essence gathering cultivator was very powerful. He was very envious when he saw Yang Sun and the others hunting demonic beasts. Later in the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow saw many core condensation cultivators and felt that core condensation cultivators could be considered experts. However, as he gained more experience, he felt that only the spirit severing stage was enough. Only then could he get the black eye of Tianji Tower and join the Tianji Tower. Now that he had entered the spirit severing stage, Night Sorrow realized that his cultivation was still not enough. He couldn't see through the cultivation of the 3 black Iron Guard captains he saw today. While Night Sorrow cultivated, Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei sat at the side and chatted with tea. The next day, when Night Sorrow was cultivating his spear art, Lu Jun, Fan Zhongxiao, and Zheng Cheng came. Uncle Feng brought them to the martial arts practice field. "You're all here. Sit." Night Sorrow greeted them. "I've been to this house before, but it wasn't as stylish as it is now. Come, let's spar first. Sister-in-law, please arrange lunch for us." That needs wine," Lu Jun said. "You came to bully me, and you want to eat and drink for free?" Night Sorrow said with a smile. "This is a spar. We need to improve together. As the host, don't you want to receive us?" Lu Jun said with a smile. After a few jokes, Yang Lei, Sikong Chuyu, Aunt Feng, and the servant girls went to prepare the dishes. "Lord Governor, please allow us to experience your combat techniques. How about this? We will spar with the same cultivation base." Lu Jun spoke. "Then Night Sorrow will ask the captains for advice." Night Sorrow didn't argue and went to the martial arts practice field with his reincarnation spear. Lu Jun also went to the field. Like Ardent Feng, Lu Jun's weapon was also a battle saber. Nodding at Night Sorrow, Lu Jun brandished her battle saber and attacked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and executed the 7-star glorious moon spear to fight with Lu Jun. As soon as the battle started, Lu Jun was suppressed. When they clashed head-on, Yi Chang's spiraling energy would push her battle saber away, while the spear would continue to press forward. Lu Jun's battle saber would block Yi Chang's reincarnation spear, but it would be pushed away by the vibrating energy that Yi Chang had infused into the spear. After exchanging over 20 moves, Lu Jun waved her empty left hand and retreated. "I can't fight with this. Spiral force and vibration force can't be restrained." "Then let me try." Fan Zhongxiao looked at Night Sorrow and went to the martial arts practice field with his battle saber. The following battle was the same as the previous one. Fan Zhongxiao couldn't fight with Night Sorrow if he used the same level of cultivation. Night Sorrow's body was tough and strong. With the addition of the spiral force and vibration force, they couldn't resist. If they used a higher level of cultivation, it would be meaningless. "Our overlapping force isn't effective. We will be repelled before the true qi comes up," Lu Jun said with a frown. Lu Jun and the other two used the overlapping force technique. In front of Night Sorrow's spiral force and vibration force, they couldn't unleash their power. Then they chatted and sparred from time to time. At noon, Lu Jun and the other two drank with Night Sorrow. In the afternoon, the 3 of them left leisurely. "These 3 fellows are here to drink. However, they are easy to get along with and don't put on any airs," Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow smiled. "They are all straightforward men. Who doesn't lack wine? They are just here to interact." In the City Lord Residence's guard hall, Lu Jun and the other 2 were drinking tea to sober up. Night Sorrow is indeed worthy of the Lord Commander's high regard. Ignoring his other ultimate moves, just his spear art alone is hard for anyone below the 5th tier to contend with, Fan Zhongxiao said. "Let's go when we have time. His spear art is good and the wine is good too," Lu Jun said with a smile. For the next few days, no one disturbed Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow cultivated quietly. He didn't really cultivate his spear art. If his cultivation didn't increase, the power of his spear art wouldn't be able to improve. Seeing that Night Sorrow didn't cultivate his spear art, Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu dragged Night Sorrow to go shopping. Before they even left the residence, Night Sorrow was stopped by someone. "Are you the owners of this residence?" the leader asked. "I am. Who are you?" Night Sorrow frowned. He realized that the person had a high attitude and didn't have any good intentions in his eyes. "Scarlet Cloud Sex Chi Yuan. I have taken a liking to your residence. Move out in 3 days, Chi Yuan said. "Scarlet Cloud Sect. I have seen it. Why don't I move out? Night Sorrow glanced at Qi Yuan and said, then don't blame us for being rude. If anything happens, it won't be good for you. Qi Yuan said with a cold face. Is this a threat? Yang Lei said coldly. Chapter 346. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Who are you threatening? Yang Lei was enraged. She drew her sword and slashed at Qi Yuan. She couldn't stand it. Baidu search, AI go female sign Xiao say, www.aitrexs. Xiaom Qi Yuan also took out his weapon and fought with Yang Lei. The others also made their moves and rushed toward Night Sorrow. This was Dongxian City. Battles of all sizes occurred every day. It was a competition of strength. This was the law of the jungle. Doing business required backing and protection fees. Otherwise, they would be devoured and suppressed. This was the way of the world. The guards didn't care about such matters. Dongxian City was too big. As long as they didn't cross the line and didn't touch the properties under the city lord's mansion, they would be fine. The battle was very intense. The people Qi Yuan brought were very strong. He was a tier 5, and the other middle-aged man was also a tier 5. There were also 3 tier 4 followers behind them. After the original owner of Night Sorrow's house was captured and killed by the city lord's mansion, Qi Yuan wanted to buy it. However, before he could figure it out, the house fell into Night Sorrow's hands. In the first few days, Qi Yuan didn't dare to make a move. If he didn't know the details, he would easily run into a wall. After a few days, Qi Yuan didn't find anyone who came to Night Sorrow's house. He didn't know Lei Hua. Lu Jun wore casual clothes that day and came to visit casually. Qi Yuan's people didn't recognize her. Therefore, Qi Yuan determined that Night Sorrow only had some relationship with Steward Lin. He wasn't afraid of his relationship with Steward Lin. Steward Lin was a civilian official and wouldn't be involved in the battle. The battle was very intense. Night Sorrow and Ning Qingfeng crippled Qi Yuan's tier 4 followers. Take care of the others. After instructing Ning Qingfeng, Night Sorrow rushed toward Qi Yuan, who was fighting with Yang Lei. All of you will die. Qi Yuan roared and waved his hand to send a signal. Soon after the signal was sent out, more than a dozen people arrived. The old man in the lead knocked Yang Lei back with a palm strike. Then Sikong Chiyu also retreated to Night Sorrow's side. Love Gom little Seiko, what's going on? The old man looked at Qi Yuan. Uncle, they are not willing to back down for this house. They want to fight us to the death, Qi Yuan said. At this moment, hundreds of black-feathered eagles appeared in the sky. Then people jumped down from them. Bang! Bang! Following the violent stomping of the ground, the black armored guards surrounded the people from the Scarlet Cloud sect. The leading black armored man walked up to Night Sorrow and lifted his helmet. What's the situation? The man who lifted his helmet was none other than the captain of the Black Iron Guards, Lu Jun. Nothing much. It's just that they had their eyes on this house and wanted me to move out. I didn't agree, so they started fighting. Then, their reinforcements appeared. Night Sorrow explained briefly. How arrogant. Lu Jun laughed. Sir, the Black Iron Guards only kill people who break the law, right? Our Scarlet Cloud sect pays crystal stones to the City Lord Mansion every year. Sir, please don't interfere in this matter, the old man said. That's normal, but not today. He is a Black Iron Guard of Dongxian City. Now that you are robbing the Black Iron Guards of Dongxian City. What a joke. Tell me, what should I do? Brothers, what should I do? Lu Jun put down her mask. Kill. The Black Iron Guards roared. The old man's expression changed. Qi Yuan and the others also retreated in shock. Captain, there's a misunderstanding here. The old man was Elder Qi Ying of the Scarlet Cloud sect. His scalp was tingling. He knew that he had caused a big mess today. Misunderstanding? You've already attacked, and now you're telling me that it's a misunderstanding? Take down everyone who attacked today. If you have the ability, fight back and run for me. Lu Jun sneered. Run. Who would dare to run? They might be able to run for a while, but they would definitely be caught. Moreover, if they ran, it would implicate the sect. If anyone dared to run today, The Black Iron Guards would wipe out the Scarlet Flame sect. A Black Iron Guard wasn't scary, but there was a high commander above them. The Black Iron Guard stepped forward and captured Qi Yuan and the other 4 who attacked. Drag them to the side and kill them. Don't dirty the road, Lu Jun ordered. Qi Ying's eyes twitched. 2 rank 5 elites were going to be killed just like that. However, he didn't dare to say anything or do anything. If he had the intention to resist, he would be taken down. At this moment, Ardent Wind appeared in black armor and a red cloak. This commander wants to have a drink, and such a thing happened. Is this robbery? Ardent Wind looked at Lu Jun and asked. Yes. Lu Jun nodded. Then what are you waiting for? Why are you looking at this commander? Kill them. You are from the Scarlet Cloud sect, right? Remember this house. If anything happens here, you know the consequences. Scram. Ardent Wind roared at Feng Ying and the others. Take the corpses away. Seeing Qi Ying and the others leave, Lu Jun shouted again. Many thanks, Lord Commander. Many thanks, Big Brother Lu Jun brothers. Let's not talk about other things. Let's find a restaurant. Knight Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear and said, I like your straightforward temper. Brothers, let's go. Ardent Wind shouted at Lu Jun and the other members of the Black Iron Guards. In a restaurant, Knight Sorrow set up a banquet and entertained the Black Iron Guards with good wine and dishes. Lu Jun, pass the signal to Knight Sorrow. There are too many people who don't know their place. Our Black Iron Guards law enforcement house was robbed. Even if we didn't succeed, it would be embarrassing, Ardent Wind said. Lu Jun nodded and took out a few small iron pipes and handed them to Knight Sorrow. The banquet lasted for a long time before Ardent Wind and the others left. It's really not good to not have an official status. There will be conflicts at any time. Yang Lei said with some regret. That old man's cultivation is very high. He's at the mid-5th rank. 9th senior sister, and I can't stop him. However, Commander Feng's cultivation is even higher. If he dares to show a trace of dissatisfaction or even a trace of resistance, he will still be killed, Sikong Chiyu said. The Golden Fire sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect hate us to the core. We can't hide the news of our arrival in Dongxian City from them. They won't dare to make a move in Dongxian City, but they will still keep an eye on us, Yang Lei said. At this moment, in a courtyard belonging to the Scarlet Cloud sect, Qing flew into a rage and smashed the tea set into pieces. Elder, the results are out. Those people are from the Medicine Valley. That young man is Knight Sorrow, the disciple of the Medicine Valley's Valley Lord. The woman in the blue dress is also a disciple of the Medicine Valley's Valley Lord. There is no news about the woman in the white dress, a disciple of the Scarlet Cloud sect said. Send people to keep a close eye on their movements. In addition, pass down my order. If there is any conflict with the Medicine Valley, no matter how big or small, they have to back down, Qing ordered. He was sullen when he gave this order. As one of the 7 superpowers of the Eastern Xian domain, he had to back down to the Medicine Valley, a first-class force. Look at the section of $L_chapter-. Chapter 347. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After leaving the restaurant, Knight Sorrow and the others casually strolled around the street before returning to the house. The house now had a name. On the lintel were the words Pure Heart Villa. It was a name given by Sikong Chiyu. 13. Today's matter wasn't too troublesome, right? Ning Qingfeng asked. I've made Big Brother Ning worry. I have an official status, so they won't dare to touch us openly, Knight Sorrow said. After spending some time together, Knight Sorrow and Ning Qingfeng's family had become familiar with each other. They were much more casual with the way they addressed each other. That's good. This world is really chaotic. Be careful when you go out in the future, Han Lin said. Big Brother Ning, this is the Black Iron Guard's message signal. If anyone comes looking for trouble when I'm not around, send a signal for help. The safety of this place is very important. Knight Sorrow gave Ning Qingfeng one of the Black Iron Guard's message signals. Ning Qingfeng nodded. He wasn't afraid of dying in battle, but the safety of this house was more important. Then Knight Sorrow and the others returned to the backyard. There shouldn't be any problems. Commander Feng came here by coincidence, but he also said that he would inform the other commanders. Also, the Red Cloud sect won't continue to make things difficult for us. They aren't afraid of us, but they are afraid of the power of the City Lord Mansion, Night Sorrow said. You improve your cultivation. We'll go back to the Medicine Valley to take a look. Yang Lei nodded. She was still worried about the situation in the Medicine Valley. After nearly a month and a half of cultivation, Night Sorrow's cultivation had improved a lot. His chi wasn't far from the peak of the 5th level of the spirit-severing stage. His cultivation of the myriad Dao Tome was about to reach the peak of the bone-forging stage. However, Night Sorrow didn't have many Flood Dragon bone-forging pills left. Night Sorrow calculated that it was enough to last him until he broke through to the bone-forging stage. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Ardent Wind also reported the situation with Night Sorrow to Lei Hua. After hearing Feng Lai's report, Lei Hua's face turned cold. You still need to go to the Golden Flame Sect's area and wait for orders. Go to the Blood Strike Guard's base and call Commander Qin over. If I don't teach this Scarlet Flame Sect a lesson, they really won't know how strong they are. Yes. Ardent Wind bowed and went to make the arrangements. If this had happened to any other Iron Guard, Lei Hua wouldn't have paid so much attention to it. However, Night Sorrow's identity as a member of the Tianji Tower was personally instructed by Wu Lingfei to take care of him. Lei Hua couldn't be careless at all. Even if he had to remove the Scarlet Cloud sect's influence in Dongxian City, he couldn't let anything happen to Night Sorrow. While Lei Hua was thinking about this, a woman wearing black armor appeared in front of him. Qin Nan greets Elder. The black-armored woman bowed. She was the commander of the Blood-Robed Guard. Go and make the arrangements. Get rid of a few members of the Scarlet Cloud sect who are at the 5th stage and above, Lei Hua said. I'll do it right away. Qin Nan nodded. There's another mission. Pay close attention to Night Sorrow's situation. If there's any existence that threatens Night Sorrow, get rid of them. Ignore those of the same level, Lei Hua said. All right, but I have a few questions, Qin Nan said. Speak. Lei Hua nodded. Since the City Lord isn't here, the Blood-Robed Guard will obey Elder's orders. However, is it appropriate for Elder to transfer half of the Blood-Robed Guard's forces to the Golden Flame sect? Qin Nan asked Lei Hua. The fact that you're asking these questions proves that you're very loyal to the City Lord. This is the City Lord's will. I'm going to see the City Lord. Come with me. Lei Hua said as he stood up. Qin Nan was the commander of the Blood-Robed Guard, and had followed Wu Lingfei for many years. She didn't doubt Wu Lingfei's loyalty, so Lei Hua planned to take her to see Wu Lingfei. On a mountain north of Dongxian City, Lei Hua and Qin Nan met Wu Lingfei. Greetings, Your Excellency. Qin Nan knelt on one knee. Stand up and speak. I haven't been in the city all these years, so I've troubled you a lot. Wu Lingfei waved her arm and used her energy to help Qin Nan up. Your Excellency, I have something to say. Lei Hua bowed. Speak. You and Qin Nan have followed me for the longest time. There's nothing to hide. Wu Lingfei nodded. Night Sorrow is very likely a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty. He has an innate bloodline. I've investigated it and found that not only does he have the power of space, but he also has a special attribute. I've never seen that attribute before, but it's similar to the legendary Void attribute, Lei Hua said. Then he should be a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty. Pay attention to his safety. As I said before, don't interfere in battles between people of the same level. If anyone tries to take advantage of their seniority, kill them, Wu Lingfei said. A few days ago, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, I arranged for him to be a law enforcer in the Black Iron Guard. In the end, some people from the Scarlet Cloud sect tried to rob his house yesterday, and there was a conflict, Lei Hua said. Scarlet Cloud sect. Their arrogance knows no bounds. Qin Nan, because of Lei Hua's status, it's inconvenient for him to show up. When it's necessary, you'll do your best to help. Wu Lingfei said. Head. Your Excellency, Qin Nan bowed. Although the strength of the Eastern Xian region can't be easily destroyed, some branches still have to be dealt with. Wu Lingfei muttered to herself. Lei Hua, Arrange for the venerables of the Tianji Tower to go to the Golden Flame Sect's area. If the Golden Flame Sect tries to deal a fatal blow to the Medicine Valley, then act immediately. Since the Golden Flame Sect and the Medicine Valley can't coexist, then leave one behind. Remember, Night Sorrow is my benefactor, and he's also very important to the Eastern Xian region. You'll understand in the future. Wu Lingfei ordered. There's one more thing, which is the main purpose of this subordinate's visit. Last time, this subordinate only told you that Night Sorrow has the Destiny Stone. Now I know that the supervisor of the Tianji Tower has made a deal with him and wants to borrow it. Isn't the Destiny Stone very important to Milord? Is it appropriate for him to leave the Eastern Xian region? Lei Hua asked. I know about this matter. I've seen the Destiny Stone before. He doesn't need it now. Let him make his own decision. Wu Lingfei shook her head and said. Then Lei Hua and Qin Nan left the area where Wu Lingfei was cultivating. Elder, what's the situation with Night Sorrow? How could Milord be indebted to him? Qin Nan asked, puzzled. If Milord says so, then there must be. You know that this subordinate has a status in the Tianji Tower, so it's not convenient for me to appear. After all, the Tianji Tower has many restrictions on its members. You have to pay attention to Night Sorrow. This is the main reason why this subordinate brought you to see Milord today. I'm afraid that if you don't take it seriously, you'll make a mistake. Lei Hua said to Qin Nan. This subordinate will definitely carry out Milord's orders without hesitation. Then, I'll eliminate a few high-level members of the Scarlet Cloud sect and teach them a lesson. Qin Nan nodded and said. Later you'll go and see Night Sorrow. He's now the enforcer of the Black Iron Guards. It's appropriate for you to meet him. Lei Hua said. All right, Milord's aura seems to have changed. Is he about to reach the legendary realm? Qin Nan asked, his eyes full of curiosity. Chapter 348. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. It's good that you've recovered. I haven't been by Lord's side for too long, so I've been feeling uneasy. Seeing Wu Lingfei gave her a sense of confidence. Qin Nan said. Seeing Wu Lingfei gave her a sense of confidence. Lord said that after these years of stability, the 9 regions and 18 prefectures will experience turmoil again. So we have to focus on improving our cultivation while paying attention to the situation, Lei Hua said. Then I'll take my leave first. I'll go investigate the people with bad records in Scarlet Cloud sect. Their heads will fall to the ground tomorrow. Qin Nan nodded to Lei Hua and left. Night Sorrow cultivated the whole night. After getting up, he practiced spear techniques for a while, stretched his muscles, and then sat down to rest. The things that happened one after another put a lot of pressure on him. It also made him understand that strength was the foundation of everything. Love go little Sate W. Chu, what are you thinking about? You're so engrossed. Sikong Chiyu came out of the pavilion and sat beside Night Sorrow. Yishang reached out and grabbed a bamboo leaf that had been blown away by the wind. He looked at it and said, It's autumn again. It's been 2 years since I left Bamboo Garden Village. Too many things have happened in these 2 years. I've seen the world clearly. Indeed, many things have happened. It wasn't this chaotic in the past 10 or 20 years. Yang Lei lifted her skirt and ran a few steps to sit beside Night Sorrow. At this time, autumn rain began to fall. Night Sorrow, are you tired? If you're tired, you should rest for a few days. Sikong Chiyu held Night Sorrow's hand and said, I'm not tired. I'm just a little emotional. When I was in Bamboo Garden Village, Father would squat under the eaves and smoke in this kind of weather, and tell me about the outside world. At that time, I wondered what the outside world was like. It was much bigger than Bamboo Garden Village and Gunnan Town. My previous thoughts were too childish. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You've experienced a lot in the past 2 years, but you've also gained a lot. You've tricked Chuyu into your hands, and Ninth Senior Sister has also benefited you. Yang Lei leaned on Yishan's body as she spoke. What are you doing? Yang Lei said as she leaned on Yishan's body. Night Sorrow held Sikong Chuyu in Yang Lei's hands and said, That's why I will cherish it. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow decided to cultivate. Just then Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin entered the backyard. Big brother Ning's sister-in-law, come and sit. Looking at Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin in the drizzle, Sikong Chiyu waved her hand and called the two people to come to this pavilion. 13. Your sister-in-law went to buy groceries today and heard about something big. 3 experts from the Scarlet Cloud sect were killed in a single move. They didn't even have the strength to fight back. After entering the pavilion, Ning Qingfeng said, "Let's go." Ning Qingfeng said after entering the pavilion. Could it be someone from the city lord's mansion? Knight Sorrow muttered in surprise. That should be the case. It's obvious that they're targeting the Scarlet Cloud sect. If it were any other reason, they would only kill one person. However, they killed 3 people in a row. It said that among the 3 people killed, the one with the highest cultivation base was the person in charge of the Scarlet Cloud sect in Dongxian City. He was a late 5th Order warrior. Only a venerable would be able to kill him. Ning Qingfeng explained in detail. Let's go out and take a look. Knight Sorrow looked at the sky. The rain had stopped, and Knight Sorrow decided to go out and take a look. This was no longer a small matter. Before Knight Sorrow and company reached the entrance of the residence, someone appeared. It was Lu Jun and Qin Nan. Lord Commander, it's here. Lu Jun looked at the lintel of the residence and said, Big brother Lu Jun, you're here. Why are you standing at the entrance? Who is this? Knight Sorrow and company came to the entrance and greeted Lu Jun when they saw her. Knight Sorrow, let me introduce you. This is Lord Commander Qin Nan. Lord Commander wanted to take a look, so I brought him here, Lu Jun said. Knight Sorrow turned his head and sized up Qin Nan. Qin Nan was dressed casually today. He was wearing a tight-fitting blue shirt with a long robe outside. His long hair was tied up simply at the back of his neck. Greetings, Lord Qin Nan. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands at Qin Nan. And, aren't you going to invite this commander in? Qin Nan sized up Sikong Chiyu and Yang Lei before looking at Knight Sorrow with sharp eyes. Lord Commander, please. Knight Sorrow turned sideways and gestured for Qin Nan to enter. He knew that Qin Nan was very aggressive. It could be seen from his eyes. When they arrived at the backyard, Knight Sorrow personally brewed tea and received him. Ardent Wind had something to do and left. You will be under this seat from now on. This seat doesn't want soft persimmons. Why did you stop the matter 2 days ago? Qin Nan took a sip of tea and asked. Even if I didn't stop, I wouldn't have been able to defeat them, Knight Sorrow said. Aren't the Black Iron Guards here? Why don't we just get rid of all of them? Qin Nan said. I'm a newbie and can't cause trouble for the Black Iron Guards. Besides, they didn't know that I'm a member of the Black Iron Guards. It's considered an accidental injury, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. The Black Iron Guards don't discriminate between old and newbies. There's no such thing as trouble. Accidental injury. If accidental injury can be forgiven, then Dongxian City is filled with accidental injuries every day, Qin Nan said coldly. WS forever a #exempt. If depends on M_x says 0 heavy killing intent. Knight Sorrow realized that Qin Nan's killing intent was much heavier than Ardent Wind's. Knight Sorrow didn't reply. He guessed that the experts from the Scarlet Cloud sect might have been killed by Qin Nan. The Black Iron Guards have a strict system. They don't bully others and don't use their status to gain benefits for their family. This is something that must be obeyed. However, they also need to make a living. If they can't even protect their family, how can they protect Dongxian City? Qin Nan said. Knight Sorrow understands. Knight Sorrow nodded. Come. Since you can withstand the attack of Ardent Wind's grade 9 spirit severing stage, then this commander will give it a try. Qin Nan arrived at the training field and waved his hand, taking out a longsword. Looking at Qin Nan's longsword, Knight Sorrow was startled. It was a flexible sword that was only as wide as a thumb, and was 4 to 5 feet long. It was a strange weapon. Knight Sorrow wore the azure claw glove on his left hand, and held the reincarnation spear in his hand. He was worried that Qin Nan might have some strange tricks up his sleeve. Make your move. Ardent Wind was trained by this commander. I want to see how he will lose. Qin Nan looked at Knight Sorrow and said. Knight Sorrow nodded and executed the spiral energy. He waved his hand and shot out 4 times. Then his body moved quickly. He didn't dare to be careless. First, he realized that Qin Nan's killing intent was heavy, and that he was using a strange weapon. Then, he heard that Ardent Wind was trained by Qin Nan. Qin Nan didn't move. He waved his right hand and the flexible sword turned into a whip, lashing towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Pa! Pa! The flexible sword struck the body of the reincarnation spear, causing Yishang's reincarnation spear to tremble. The direction of the attack was slightly off. Then the flexible sword was like a spirit snake as it wrapped around Yishang's reincarnation spear and stabbed towards Yishang's arm. Night Sorrow's true chi went berserk, and the vibration energy exploded. The reincarnation spear let out a buzzing sound and bounced off the flexible sword. After the first exchange of blows, Night Sorrow began his second round of attacks. The reincarnation spear's body executed the vibration energy, and the tip of the spear executed the spiral energy. Once again he attacked Qin Nan. Chapter 349. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow used the oscillating force and shook off Qin Nan's soft sword. This made Qin Nan's eyes brighten. He then flicked his right hand, and the soft sword pierced straight towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow retreated and at the same time, borrowed the force to shoot out his spear. 4 spears in a row aimed towards Qin Nan's soft sword. Hiss! The spiraling force caused Qin Nan's soft sword to deviate. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear continued to pierce forward. In the first move, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was deflected and the spiraling force was not displayed. Now that he used the oscillating force to deflect Qin Nan's weapon, the spiraling force was displayed. Qin Nan's feet shook and he retreated a few steps. He waved his right hand and folded his soft sword a few times to block the reincarnation spear's tip. He then continued to shake his wrist and fiercely flicked it. The energy collision caused Night Sorrow to retreat a few steps, but Qin Nan was pushed back even more. Night Sorrow's body flashed as he brandished his reincarnation spear, and once again charged towards Qin Nan. Qin Nan's right arm danced. The 4 to 5 chi-long soft sword was like a spirit snake. When he needed to defend, he would bend and fold his soft sword to block the reincarnation spear. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear's spiraling force could only deflect the first few folds. It could not deflect the back and could not penetrate it. After Qin Nan finished defending, he poured his true chi into his soft sword. The soft sword became a hard weapon and attacked Night Sorrow. However, Night Sorrow's oscillating force was infused into the spear. The reincarnation spear was able to deflect the long sword and remove the threat. Night Sorrow felt that this was not good. Even though Qin Nan was at a disadvantage, his true chi was abundant, and he would be at a disadvantage if he consumed it. With this idea in mind, Night Sorrow changed his tactics. After waving his hand and shooting out 4 spears, Night Sorrow controlled the myriad Dao Tome's energy and poured it into the reincarnation spear. G square root forever. Geo 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 ding. Ding. 4 crisp sounds rang out consecutively. The spiraling energy at the tip of Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear had knocked away the first 4 layers of Qin Nan's flexible sword. Following that, the energy of the myriad Tao Tome exploded, displaying the vibrating energy. A crisp sound rang out once again. The last 3 layers of Qin Nan's flexible sword had been repelled by Night Sorrow's myriad Dao Tome. Under Qin Nan's shocked gaze, Night Sorrow's true energy burst forth once more. This time, Night Sorrow used wave force. The true chi supported by wave force rushed towards Qin Nan's 2 layers of flexible swords. As the energy ripples appeared from the collision, Qin Nan's body flew back 2 feet. At that moment, Night Sorrow's body soared into the air. Once again, his 4 spears combined into one as he rushed towards Qin Nan. His body's energy and his primary energy took turns attacking. The 3 types of energy were constantly changing, not giving Qin Nan any opportunity to attack. This scene made Lu Jun dumbfounded. Was this still a battle between spirit-severing intermediate stage cultivators? Qin Nan was the great commander of the City Lord's mansion. He commanded all the guards. No matter if it was the power on the surface or the secret power that Lu Jun only knew of, they were all under Qin Nan's jurisdiction. Not only was Qin Nan's cultivation high, but his combat ability was also strong. However, he was now suppressed by night sorrow. It was very difficult. Even if Qin Nan suppressed his cultivation, his understanding of combat skills, tactics, and energy usage was extremely high. As the battle raged, Night Sorrow's energy attribute changed. He didn't simply use his hands to let the cold energy of the mysterious jade spiritual energy cover his energy attribute. He directly activated the mysterious jade spiritual energy and attacked Qin Nan. Qin Nan's attribute had been revealed very early on. It was the wind attribute. His attacks were fast and strange. As soon as Night Sorrow's extremely cold mysterious jade spiritual energy appeared, it followed the reincarnation spear and bombarded Qin Nan's flexible sword. Following that, the white mysterious jade spiritual energy attacked Qin Nan's arms. Qin Nan was startled. He then took a few steps back and waved his left hand to imprison Night Sorrow, who was still attacking. There's no need to fight. After speaking, Qin Nan released the restraints on Night Sorrow. He looked at the cold light on the flexible sword in his hand. No one knew what he was thinking. Thank you, Lord, for your guidance. Night Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear and bowed to Qin Nan. He had fought to his heart's content. Very good. Let's not talk about cultivation. Your understanding of combat and control of energy usage is something that this commander can't compare to. Ardent Wind's level is indeed not enough to look at in front of you. Qin Nan shook his arm and put away his flexible sword. Lord Commander's folding force is even more profound. Night Sorrow said. It's a bit embarrassing to say this. When this commander was at the peak of the Severed Soul stage, I only grasped the 5th layer of folding force. The 7th layer of folding force was comprehended at a later stage. The 5th layer of folding force is not enough to be bullied by your spiral force, shock force, and wave force. You didn't use your own attribute in the end because you aren't of the ice attribute. This commander will not dig into your foundation. Qin Nan walked to the pavilion beside the martial arts field and poured himself a cup of tea. Night Sorrow thanks Lord for your guidance. Night Sorrow bowed again. You don't have to be polite. Lu Jun, if you have time, you should really study your combat skills. This is something real. When fighting with someone of the same cultivation level, combat experience and skills are very important. Qin Nan looked at Lu Jun and said, I understand. Lu Jun bowed. After watching the battle between Night Sorrow and Qin Nan, she already had a deep understanding of it. Many people pursue the improvement of their cultivation level and realm. They think that this is the most important thing. In fact, this is not wrong. After entering the supremacy realm, one's control and understanding of energy is what they rely on. However, if one's skills in using energy are high, they can easily crush opponents of the same level. Qin Nan said. Thank you for your advice, Lord Commander. Lu Jun bowed. Night Sorrow, this commander has a few words to say to you. If you want to stand firmly in this world, you need many factors such as backing, relationships, and so on. The most important thing is to be ruthless. As long as others provoke you, kill them until they are afraid, Qin Nan said. What happened last night? Was it arranged by the commander? Yi Shang asked directly. Yes, those few pieces of trash have done a lot of inhumane things. In the past, I didn't think it was necessary, so I didn't punish them. Now that they want to test the strength of our Black Iron Guards, let's see if they can withstand it. Qin Nan sneered, not putting the Scarlet Cloud sect in his eyes at all. 3 rank 5 cultivators and a late-stage rank 5 cultivator were the backbone of a sect. However, because Qin Nan wanted to show them the strength of the Black Iron Guards, they were directly eliminated. If such an incident happened in the Medicine Valley, it would definitely be a huge blow to the sect. Even if the Scarlet Cloud sect had many experts, this incident would still be a huge blow to them. In the headquarters of the Scarlet Cloud sect in Dongxian City, Qi Ying's face was gloomy. The 3 corpses of the sect's members were placed in the hall. The fatal injuries were on their heads. There were thumb-sized holes on their foreheads. Crimson Shadow understood the reason for this. The Scarlet Cloud sect had offended someone they shouldn't have. Now they had lost 5 Tier 5 members in 3 days. Currently, the Scarlet Cloud sect only had 2 Tier 5 members left in Dongxian City. Protector Yin Jie, you stay here first. This seat will return to the sect. No matter what happens, don't retaliate. This seat will report to the sect master and ask the venerable to come over. Otherwise, our Scarlet Cloud sect will be suppressed by other forces, Qiying said to a man beside him. Chapter 350. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After staying for a while, Qin Nan left. This made Lu Jun, who wanted to get some drinks, unable to do so. She could only follow her and leave. Lu Jun, arrange some people to patrol this street. If anything happens, inform me immediately. Qin Nan instructed. But they might not stay in Eastern Xian City forever. Last time when we were drinking, I heard them say that they plan to return to the Medicine Valley, Lu Jun said. Just observe carefully. This guy's comprehension ability is really strong. It's really rare to have such comprehension before the age of 20, Qin Nan said. Yes, but his cultivation base is a little low, Lu Jun said. So what if his cultivation base is low? Has anyone reached the 5th level of the Divine Severing Realm after cultivating for 2 years? It's only a matter of time before one's cultivation base increases. However, combat talent is very hard to come by. You haven't participated in a real bloody battle, so you don't know. In fact, in the later stages, when everyone's cultivation base is almost the same, combat talent and combat ability are especially important. For example, many people can't enter the Venerable Realm and are only at the peak of the 5th level. Then, a combat talent like Night Sorrows can definitely kill a group of people. Qin Nan glared at Lu Jun and said. I understand, Lu Jun said. You don't understand at all. It's very difficult for a void inquiry stage cultivator to enter the Venerable Realm. It's a problem for many people. Then, what about the Venerable Realm cultivator entering the Saint Realm? This step is a natural moat. Under the situation where there are no saints, do you know what an invincible Venerable Realm cultivator is? Qin Nan looked at Lu Jun and said. Lu Jun thought for a while and nodded. Then, let me tell you the truth. The strength of our Eastern Xian region belongs to the bottom among the 9 regions. We have few venerables and cultivators. But why don't people from other regions come to our Eastern Xian region to snatch our territory? It's because our Eastern Xian region has an invincible Venerable Realm cultivator. Alright, it's enough that you know Night Sorrow's importance. Qin Nan shook her head. She knew that it was useless to say this to Lu Jun and the others could be experts, but it was impossible for them to reach the peak because they did not have much potential. After sending Qin Nan away, Night Sorrow concluded the battle. He realized that his attack power was fierce, but it was difficult to deal with people with high flexibility. Think about what? Sikong Chiyu asked. My attack power is still lacking. I can't take down opponents with high tenacity, Night Sorrow said. It's a good thing to be enlightened, but don't ask too much of yourself. She used spatial shackles in the end to stop you from fighting. What does that mean? It meant that she was a venerable one. Although she's fighting with the same cultivation level as you, her understanding and fighting skills are all at the venerable level, Sikong Chiyu said. That's right. Night Sorrow, have you ever thought about this? Even if your combat skills don't improve, as long as your cultivation increases and you enter the Exalt realm, your combat power won't be any weaker than theirs, said Yang Lei. I understand, but there's no end to cultivation. It's good to learn more, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu looked at each other. What could they say? Not allowing Night Sorrow to work hard? The only thing they could do was to take care of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow continued to cultivate his spear art. He wanted to let his 3 energy techniques change freely. This way, it would be impossible for his opponents to guard against him in battle. You forever, why forever Zifi free. Read novels. After cultivating his spear art for a while, Night Sorrow drank some tea with the 2 girls, and went to the secret room to cultivate his foundation. Night Sorrow cultivated by consuming the spiritual origin liquid and the dragon bone forging pill. He wanted to increase his cultivation level as soon as possible. Now that the situation was changing, no one could predict what would happen in the next moment. The next few days were peaceful. No one came to disturb Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't even leave the secret room during the day. He worked hard to increase his cultivation level. 3 days later, Night Sorrow's cultivation of the myriad Tao tome reached a bottleneck. Night Sorrow stabilized his cultivation level and increased his true qi at the same time. After cultivating for another 2 days, his true qi was not far from the bottleneck. Night Sorrow decided to break through the myriad Tao tome first. After making the decision, Night Sorrow sorted out his emotions and started to break through. Night Sorrow wanted to strengthen the bone marrow in his skull. This was the only bone marrow in his body that had not been strengthened. Once the strengthening was completed, he would enter the 4th realm of the myriad Tao tome, the consolidation realm, and strengthen his internal organs. Night Sorrow controlled the circulation of the myriad Tao tome's energy and started to strengthen his bone marrow. With the strengthening, Night Sorrow felt a splitting headache. Others described the pain as bone piercing, but Night Sorrow was enduring a bone-piercing pain. Night Sorrow's head kept on ringing. The intense headache made him feel dizzy. However, Night Sorrow knew that this was a crucial moment. He couldn't be careless. Night Sorrow's facial muscles, scalp, and hair were all vibrating. This was the result of the energy vibrations. Time passed by slowly. Night Sorrow's bone marrow in his skull was also strengthened bit by bit. The moment the bone marrow of the heavenly spirit bone was strengthened, Night Sorrow's head rumbled. Then a clear feeling spread to Night Sorrow's mind. Night Sorrow also noticed that there was an oval-shaped space 1 inch behind his forehead that was filled with fog. Spirit Ocean. This was the most mysterious part of a human's life, where the power of the soul was located. Regardless of whether it was an ordinary human or a cultivator, they all had a soul. The Spirit Ocean was where the soul was located. This was the place where mental energy and perception were produced. It was also the origin of the power of the soul. After opening the Spirit Ocean, Night Sorrow realized that his perception was much stronger. He could even feel the energy of heaven and earth in the air. After quietly stabilizing his cultivation, Night Sorrow took out the myriad Tao tome. He wanted to review the cultivation method of the consolidation realm of the myriad Tao tome. The consolidation realm of the myriad Tao tome strengthened the 5 chapters and 6 bowels of the body. It also assisted the cultivation of the Spirit Ocean. Night Sorrow understood how to strengthen the 5 chapters and 6 bowels of the body. He mainly looked at the cultivation of the power of the soul. This was related to the advancement in the future. The cultivation of the power of the soul was similar to the cultivation of true energy. It was to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to strengthen the soul. In the beginning, the power of the soul was weak, and it was difficult to cultivate on its own. It needed to borrow the energy of the body to create a whirlpool in the head to absorb energy. The second stage was when the power of the soul could rotate on its own, and it could cultivate on its own. Night Sorrow read the manual again seriously, before putting it away. After putting away the manual, Night Sorrow continued to stabilize his cultivation, and tried to cultivate his power of the soul. During this cultivation, Night Sorrow realized that there were traces of special energy in the heaven and earth entering his Spirit Ocean. It slowly strengthened his power of the soul. This made him very satisfied. After cultivating for 4 hours, Night Sorrow realized that his true energy was still some distance away from the bottleneck. He was not in a hurry to continue cultivating. After stretching his waist, Night Sorrow left the secret cultivation room. After leaving the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu training in the martial arts field. Chapter 351. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Essence Chi Smoke? I've heard of it a few times, but I still don't understand it, Night Sorrow said. It's invisible to the naked eye, but it can be sensed with perception. It's the phenomenon of blood essence rushing through the Baihui acupoint on the top of your head and affecting the aura field in the sky, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow released the soul power he had just unearthed and sensed it. He found that there was indeed a 5-foot-tall smoke-like figure above his head. I can feel it. It's 5 foot tall, Night Sorrow said as he retracted his soul power. You can feel it? This is something that can only be detected by cultivators above the 5th rank. The other Yao beasts and cultivators can only sense the strength of your vitality. Yang Lei looked at Yi Sheng with some surprise. I can feel it. Because of the cultivation method, I've opened the spirit sea and can cultivate soul power, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiu looked at each other and pulled Night Sorrow into the main building's hall. 13 You said you opened the spirit sea? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, I just opened it. Night Sorrow nodded. What's going on? I'm a bit confused, Sikong Chiu said as he rubbed his forehead. How do you cultivate your soul power? Night Sorrow asked. Cultivate? You're saying your soul power can be cultivated? Yang Lei's eyes widened. At the same time, Sikong Chiu's grip on Night Sorrow's arm tightened. Yes, it can't be that you can't cultivate, right? Night Sorrow realized that he might be mistaken. Bullshit. You know the complete Holy Cauldron scripture and Lushan Venerable's Heaven Essence Qi refining scripture. Is there a way to cultivate soul power in them? Our soul power grows naturally. Hurry up and tell me how to cultivate it, Yang Lei said excitedly. I'll talk about it first. Listen carefully and see if you can use it as a reference. I strengthened my flesh, blood, meridians, bones and bone marrow, and opened up my divine sea. Then, I circulated the energy in my body and formed a vortex in my head. It drove the spiritual qi of heaven and earth into my divine sea, allowing my divine sea to absorb the energy to strengthen my soul. Night Sorrow said. Ninth Senior Sister, let's give it a try too. Let's see if we can replace Night Sorrow's energy with our vital energy, Sikong Chiu said. What are you waiting for? Let's try it together. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiu looked at each other and left together, leaving Night Sorrow alone in the hall. Night Sorrow helplessly made tea for himself. Then he went to the martial arts practice field, intending to cultivate his spear arts. When Night Sorrow arrived at the martial arts practice field, Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin were also there. They were also cultivating, but they only cultivated when Night Sorrow was not there. Big brother Ning, sister-in-law, is your leg okay? Night Sorrow asked. It's okay. Medicine Valley's pills are very effective. It's not a problem to fight now. If there's trouble, sister-in-law can help, Han Lin said with a smile. That's good. Ning Yin, do you like it here? Night Sorrow looked at Ning Yin and asked. I like it. I like Uncle and Auntie more. Ning Yin ran to Night Sorrow and said. Okay, Uncle and Auntie will take you out to buy delicious food someday. Night Sorrow said as he squatted down and patted Ning Yin's little face. Thank you, Uncle, Ning Yin said. 13. I see that the vibration force you used is very strong, but I can't use it. How can I change it? It's still my own reverberating force, Ning Qingfeng said. I don't know how to say it. Feel it slowly. Night Sorrow took out his reincarnation spear and stretched it out, letting Ning Qingfeng put his sword on it to feel it. This feeling lasted for a quarter of an hour. Thank you. Ning Qingfeng took 2 steps back and bowed to Night Sorrow. Big brother Ning is too polite. Sister-in-law, make me some delicious food later. Ninth Senior Sister and Chiyu are going to cultivate. Don't worry about me, Night Sorrow said as he patted his stomach. Okay, sister-in-law will arrange it for you. Han Lin was very happy that Night Sorrow used such an attitude to communicate with her. Ning Qingfeng and Han Lin left, but Ning Yun didn't leave. She wanted to stay here. Looking at Ning Yun, Night Sorrow also stopped cultivating. He took Ning Yun to the pavilion and took out the mysterious ice jade that Wu Lingfei gave him. He cut off a piece and began to repair the reincarnation spear's tip with his right hand. T7 View Top. Night Sorrow's hands were strong, so he wasn't afraid of being injured by the reincarnation spear. Others couldn't use the reincarnation spear that weighed more than 1,000 jin. After repairing the corner of the jade tablet, Night Sorrow had a thought and carved a cloud on the back. Looking at the front, Night Sorrow moved the tip of his spear and carved a cloud picture. Although the cloud picture wasn't detailed, it had a grand and magnificent feeling. Night Sorrow found a red string that he used to tie his hair, and strung the jade tablet together, and hung it around Ning Yun's neck. Do you like it? I like it. Thank you, Uncle. But father and mother don't let me take other people's things. They will scold me, Ning Yun said with some apprehension. Just say that Uncle gave it to you. They won't scold you. Go and play. Remember, Don't leave the courtyard. Night Sorrow patted Ningyan's shoulder and said with a smile. Ningyan waved at Night Sorrow while running. Night Sorrow liked Ningyan very much and envied Ningyan for being able to live happily by his parents' side. After sending Ningyan away, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his spear art. After the myriad Dao treasured tome leveled up, his body's strength increased again. The strength of his arms had exceeded 30,000 jin, and was close to 40,000 jin. Even if he didn't use his true qi and the energy of the myriad Dao treasured tome, he could still fight against cultivators below the 4th rank. Waving the reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow cultivated the free conversion of oscillation force, wave force, and spiral force. This way, no matter how experienced the opponent was, he wouldn't be able to adapt to it. Unless he used his cultivation to suppress the opponent, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. After cultivating for 2 hours, his body was covered in sweat. Night Sorrow went to take a bath and changed into a fresh white robe. The leveling up of the myriad Dao treasured tome made Night Sorrow very happy. He was even happier that he could cultivate his soul power. This was a milestone in the cultivation process. While Night Sorrow was resting in the hall, Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu came out. Is it okay? Night Sorrow asked somewhat anxiously. This was too important. This was the key to entering the honorable realm. As long as one's soul power was strong, it would be easy to enter the honorable realm. We have a little idea. The two of us need to slowly think about it. The effect might not be obvious, but it will definitely be effective. Yang Lei said. Then you two can slowly think about it. Hearing that the two girls had a clue, Night Sorrow was very happy. While the three of them were talking, Han Lin came over and called them to eat. 13. You've been cultivating for many days. Today, sister-in-law made a lot of delicious food. You guys must eat to your heart's content. Han Lin said with a smile. Uncle, father and mother didn't scold me. They said that since uncle gave me a gift, I'll take it. However, I can't accept uncle's gifts in the future. Ning Yun, who was beside Han Lin, held the jade pendant around her neck and said, 13. This gift is too precious. Han Lin carried Ning Yun and said, Ning Yun will be a great expert in the future. The mysterious ice jade can calm the heart. The child will also need it in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, why are you practicing carving? Is there a secret? Yang Lei asked. Chapter 352. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Seeing Night Sorrow stop to meditate, Yang Lei and the others didn't disturb him. Many cultivators would have an epiphany and shouldn't be disturbed. Baidu search, AI go female sign Xiao say www.ai2xs. So after a while Night Sorrow exhaled. Let's go. Night Sorrow just grasped the key point. When he was carving the jade pendant, Night Sorrow felt something was wrong and couldn't find the key point. After hearing Yang Lei's words, Night Sorrow understood. When he was carving the jade pendant, he concentrated and his soul power became more active. Coupled with the energy from the energy vortex in his head, his spiritual power increased faster. Seeing that Night Sorrow didn't say the reason, Yang Lei and the others didn't ask. Han Lin was very attentive. She, Aunt Feng and 2 servants prepared a table full of delicious food. Today is a happy day. Come, let's drink. Night Sorrow took out a jar of 100 herb wine and poured a little for everyone. Uncle, can I drink? Ning Yin asked. You can't. When you grow this tall, Uncle will drink with you. Night Sorrow gestured at the height of his chest and said. After drinking a jar of wine and eating something, Night Sorrow asked Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu to accompany him on the street. After they were on the street, Night Sorrow went straight to the jade shop. What do you need? The owner of the jade shop asked. Jade materials and 3 sets of jade carving tools. Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow bought a lot of good quality jade blanks. They were all peeled raw jade blanks. They were all top quality jade blanks. They were all priced at 20 mid-grade spirit stones. Night Sorrow didn't have any mid-grade spirit stones. Seeing that Night Sorrow took out high-grade spirit stones, Yang Lei helped pay the bill. After leaving the jade shop, Young Lei asked. Why did you buy these? Of course it's useful. It's not just for me, it's for you guys as well. Remember, back in the Celestial Apex Tower, Senior Lei Hua said that he used to practice carving to calm his mind. In reality, that's not the case. He used it to cultivate his soul power, said Yishan. Are you sure? Young Lei looked at Night Sorrow seriously. I'm sure. Today, I carved a jade tablet for Ning Yun. Because I was serious and focused my mind, I felt a change in my soul power. Yishan nodded. That Lei Hua didn't tell us the truth. Young Lei said with some dissatisfaction. This is too important. It can even be considered as an inheritance. No one will tell us easily. Besides, Night Sorrow hasn't reached the 5th grade yet. Even if he doesn't hide it, he won't tell us now. Sikong Chiyu said. In the future, when the two of you have something to do, other than cultivating normally, you can practice carving when you have nothing to do. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, you should know that no matter how slow the improvement of your true chi cultivation is, there will be a day when you reach the peak of the void inquiry stage. At that time, with your strong soul power, you will definitely enter the venerable realm. Young Lei said excitedly. What about Master? Master said that his mental state is good enough, but his cultivation base isn't enough. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked the question in his mind. You have an innate bloodline, but others also have other innate talents. Some people are born with strong soul power. Master might be such a person. He might also have strong perception. Even if his soul power is ordinary, he can also reach the realm of the unity of heaven and man with strong perception. Young Lei explained to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded, understanding the reason behind it. After returning to the Qing Xian small house, Night Sorrow divided the knives and the jade blank. The three of them were going to practice carving. Ninth senior sister, what Yishang said makes sense. I don't know if you've noticed, but jade carving masters and alchemy masters, even if their hair is white, their mental state is still very good, Sikong Chiyu said. Indeed. Our 13's perception is excellent. Chuyu, let's study how to cultivate our soul power later. Besides, with the help of jade carving, it won't be difficult for us to improve our soul power. Young Lei was also full of confidence. Besides, I also believe in another saying. Those who are close to someone who possesses great luck will also be affected by karma and obtain great luck. Isn't that the case now? 13's luck is flourishing and the two of us have also benefited a lot from it. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. After that, Young Lei and Sikong Chiyu went to study how to cultivate their soul power according to Night Sorrow's method. Night Sorrow took out the carving knife and began to practice carving. Using a special carving knife was indeed much more convenient than using the reincarnation spear. Night Sorrow took the jade blank and began to carve. The first thing he carved was Tianyu. After an hour, Night Sorrow carved out a motionless Tianyu. After sensing it, Night Sorrow discovered that his soul power had increased a little. Although it was just a little, it was still effective. After that, Night Sorrow continued to carve and use the Tianyu, who was walking back and forth as the model. This didn't affect Night Sorrow's cultivation of true chi and the myriad Daos treasured tome. Although it wasn't as fast as meditating, his true chi and the myriad Daos treasured tome could operate on their own. The more Night Sorrow carved, the more he felt that his carving was similar to Tianyu's. After carving, all kinds of Tianyu were placed on the stone table in front of Night Sorrow. In the afternoon, Night Sorrow carved more than 20 Tianyu jade carvings. Young Lei and Sikong Chiyu also came out. Night Sorrow waved his hand at Ning Yun, who was playing by the waterside pavilion. Ning Yun, take these to play. Give 2 to Grandpa Feng and Grandma Feng. Thank you, Uncle. Ning Yun first picked 2 that she thought were pretty and gave them to Young Lei and Sikong Chiyu. Then she counted and took 7. This child is really sensible. His mind is pure and he doesn't have any greed, Sikong Chiyu said as he watched Ning Yun trotting away. That's why I like him very much. Have you made any progress? Night Sorrow asked. We've made some progress. Although the effect isn't great, it's very good. How about you? Young Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow closed his eyes and felt for a moment. Then he nodded and said, Not bad. That's good. 13. Tell this secret to eldest senior brother. I want to see eldest senior brother rise, Yang Lei said. Although she wanted to, she still had to ask for Night Sorrow's opinion. When we go back, we can tell eldest senior brother and other senior brothers about this method. In the future, there will be more venerables in Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, in fact, you don't have to keep pursuing jade carvings. You can cultivate alchemy. The effect won't be much worse. Sikong Chuyu expressed his opinion. Then we can try. I have 4th level and 5th level alchemy materials here. Although we don't need alchemy pills much. It's good for senior brother and 6th senior sister to refine them. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that Sikong Chuyu's words made sense. Practicing carving, and eventually becoming a master of carving was just a pastime. However, becoming an alchemy master was different. It could be said that he had a promising future. Cultivators needed alchemy pills. No matter how high one's cultivation was, they needed alchemy pills. Even venerables had to be polite to an alchemy master. Who knew when one would ask for alchemy pills? Chapter 353. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? Sure, Net provides you with wonderful novels to read. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow and the other two went out to the streets. Yi Shang wanted to buy some supplementary ingredients for alchemy. The main ingredients for Tier 4 pills were Spirit Calming Grass and Profound Tranquil Grass, and the Void Grass and Clear Void Grass for Tier 5 pills were all available to Yi Shang. However, he did not have any supplementary herbs. Supplementary herbs were cheap and not rare, so they could be bought at any pharmacy. After buying the ingredients at the medicine store, Yi Shang and the other two strolled around Dongxian City. 13. We have a house and a maid in Dongxian City. We should be considered city dwellers, Yang Lei said. We also have a villa in Danding City. We are city dwellers, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Women love to shop. Night Sorrow accompanied the two girls for a while, and bought some delicious food. Yang Lei also bought some good wine for Night Sorrow before the three returned to Qingxin Villa. After chatting with Ning Qingfeng for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He felt that his qi cultivation had reached the peak of level 5 spirit severing stage in the past 2 days. He had to hurry up and improve his qi and soul power. The unification realm of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome was a very mysterious realm. There was no bottleneck in the strengthening of the 5 viscera and 6 bowels. In other words, there was no need to break through. As long as he strengthened one aspect, he would automatically enter the next realm. At the unification realm, the most important thing was to cultivate the foundation of the soul power. Baidu search, AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuexis.com. After the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome entered the unification realm, the Flood Dragon Bone Forging Pill was useless. It could only be used as an external bone injury medicine. Night Sorrow took out the Ice Spirit Blood Essence. He wanted to see if he could use it to aid his cultivation. The Ice Spirit Blood Essence contained an extremely strong blood essence. Night Sorrow wanted to see if he could absorb the blood essence to cultivate. If he couldn't, he would have to think of other ways. There was already a gap between his cultivation of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome and his cultivation of true qi. He didn't want his cultivation of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome to fall behind. Holding the Ice Spirit Blood Essence in his hands, Night Sorrow started to absorb its energy. Following the circulation of the Myriad Tao Tome's energy, the blood essence of the Ice Spirit Blood Essence flowed through Night Sorrow's arms and into his body. Being able to absorb it was a good sign, and following that, he had to refine it. Night Sorrow was not worried about this because the Myriad Tao's energy was very powerful. It could even subdue Wu Lingfei's profound Jade Spirit Qi, let alone pure energy. As he absorbed it, Night Sorrow discovered something that shocked him. The blood vitality produced by the Ice Spirit Blood Essence had a very high affinity with him. As it entered his body, it was directly assimilated. It was much faster than refining the Flood Dragon Bone Forging Pill. This kind of situation made Night Sorrow very surprised. The effect was even stronger than eating pills. The cultivation of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome could easily catch up with the cultivation of true qi. Night Sorrow didn't want to see the gap between the two be too big. At night, Night Sorrow worked hard to cultivate his foundation. During the day, he cultivated his spear arts and alchemy. 2 days later, Night Sorrow's true chi cultivation had risen to the peak of the 5th level of the spirit severing stage. After stabilizing his cultivation for a day, Night Sorrow went to break through. He planned to enter the 6th level of the spirit severing stage and return to the Medicine Valley to take a look. He was more worried about the situation in the Medicine Valley. Now that the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect were hostile to the Medicine Valley, it was easy for a war to break out. The advancement of true chi was a matter of course. After a night, Night Sorrow's cultivation had risen to the 6th level of the spirit severing stage. After stabilizing his cultivation for a long time, Night Sorrow left the secret cultivation room and continued to refine pills. Love Go Little Say W. Chuyang Lei and Sikong Chiyu have also been working hard to cultivate recently, and now he can't see them. Night Sorrow's alchemy level is already very high. He has refined both the Tranquil Spirit Pill and the Tranquil Xian Pill, and he has refined a lot. When Night Sorrow was refining pills, Ning Qingfeng, Han Lin, and Ning Yun came to watch when they were free. After putting away a furnace of pills again, Night Sorrow looked at Ning Qingfeng and took out a few bottles of pills. This is the Spirit Congealing Pill. You and sister-in-law can use it for cultivation. These are 2 Tranquil Xian pills. You also need them. Forever free to read novels for a long time. 13. You can't do this. You also need it. Ning Qingfeng waved his hand and did not take the pills. Not to mention the Tranquil Spirit Pill. The Tranquil Xian Pill is extremely valuable. Many people can't buy it even if they have crystal stones. They are all monopolized by the major sections. If you are not a very accomplished alchemist, you can't refine it. And alchemists with profound alchemy attainments are generally trained by the major sects and families. If you can refine a level 4 Tranquil Xian Pill, you are a senior alchemist. If you can refine a level 5 pill, you are a grandmaster alchemist. I need it, but Big Brother Ning, you didn't see it. These are all refined by me. If I want to use them, I will refine them myself. Take it. Night Sorrow stuffed the pills to Ning Qingfeng. Ning Qingfeng nodded and took the pills. Ning Yun, when you cultivate, Uncle will provide you with pills. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Ning Yun was now training his body every day in preparation for cultivation. Although he likes Ning Yun very much, Night Sorrow didn't tell Ning Yun the cultivation method of the Myriad Tao treasure book. First of all, it is very risky. It will cause many people to covet it. In addition, without the assistance of pills, he can't cultivate the Myriad Tao treasure book. After stopping refining pills, Night Sorrow practiced his spear art. If he doesn't wave his reincarnation spear for a day, Night Sorrow will feel uncomfortable. Night Sorrow practiced his spear art for a while. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu came out of the room. Not bad, you have advanced. Seeing Night Sorrow's cultivation, Sikong Chiyu said, You are all out. How is the effect? Night Sorrow asked. The effect is very good. We have also tried to carve the jade tablet. It is also a shortcut. Many people are drunk on cultivation, alchemy and carving. No one connects the two together. This is really sad. Yang Lei said. It is not that no one connects the two together. It is that people who connect the two together do not say it. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei nodded. Indeed, people who can discover such a secret have already gone to eat meat in silence. No one will speak loudly. 6th level of spirit severing stage. You do not lack pills. You will soon be able to cultivate to the 7th level of spirit severing stage. When you reach the 7th level of spirit severing stage, you can eat the profound calming pill to improve your cultivation. Yang Lei said. She knew that when Night Sorrow returned to the Medicine Valley, it would definitely be a shock and would subvert many people's views on cultivation. I have refined a lot of pills. When I go back, I will give them to the senior brothers and senior sisters. Anyway, we do not need the rank 4 pills. Night Sorrow said. We really do not need the rank 4 pills. You have to give some to Big Brother Ning and sister-in-law. Yang Lei said. I have already given some to them. If there is nothing else, We will go back to the Medicine Valley. We have been out for a long time. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and said. He knew that Yang Lei was a little anxious. Chiyu, what do you think? Yang Lei looked at Sikong Chiyu and asked. We have to go back and have a look. This matter is caused by us. It is not appropriate for us to pat our butts and leave, Sikong Chiyu said. Well, we will go to the Tianji Tower later to find Senior Lei Hua. We can take the transmission array and save a lot of time, Knight Sorrow said. During dinner, Knight Sorrow told Ning Qingfeng and his wife, Uncle Feng and Aunt Feng that he was going to leave. 13. Pay attention to your safety. You can rest assured here. When you are done, come back early, Han Lin said. Chapter 354. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by shall? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 13. Don't worry. No problem. Love divided by go divided by shall say www.aichux.com, Ning Qingfeng said. After dinner, seeing that it was still early, Knight Sorrow and the others packed up and rode their flying demon beasts to Tianji Tower. This time, seeing Knight Sorrow, there was someone to greet them. No one dared to be rude. On the top floor, Knight Sorrow saw Lei Hua and Yin Shui. Why are you here? Yin Shui asked. Ordinary people would be eager to get closer to Tianji Tower, but Lei Hua and Yin Shui knew that Knight Sorrow wouldn't come to Tianji Tower for no reason. We plan to go back to Medicine Valley. It would be best if we could take the teleportation array, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Of course, no problem. You can go back through Stardust City or Golden Flame City. Love go shall say W Chuin Shui said. The Golden Flame sect can't wait to strangle me. Let's not go. It's dangerous to go there. Knight Sorrow shook his head and rubbed his nose awkwardly. That's fine. Who knows if they're up to no good. Let's go through Stardust City. In order to not expose your identity, you should wear a mask. Your fiancée doesn't have a Tianji Tower identity, so she'll cover her face with a veil. But Knight Sorrow, you can ask your fiancée to apply for a Tianji Tower identity. She's so young and already at rank 5. She'll have no problem patrolling, Lei Hua said. Is that okay? Knight Sorrow asked. Lei Hua nodded. Sure. Her performance in the early stages was outstanding, but it wasn't outstanding, so she wasn't qualified to receive Black Star's attention. But now that she's rebounding strongly, it shouldn't be a problem for her to be an inspector. It just depends on whether she's willing or not. If she's willing, then all 3 of you will be members of Tianji Tower, and it'll be convenient for you to do anything. 9th Senior Sister, what do you think? Knight Sorrow looked at Yang Lei. After all, it was up to Yang Lei to decide. Of course I have no problem with that. Then I'll have to trouble the 2 seniors. Yang Lei cupped her hands towards Lei Hua and Yin Shui. Since you're willing, I'll help you report it. All right, let's set off. Lei Hua stood up and put on his mask. Knight Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu also put on their masks. Knight Sorrow's silver mask with flames was very beautiful. Yin Shui took out a bronze mask and handed it to Yang Lei, who was about to cover her face with a veil, as she said, Take this first. We'll report it to the headquarters. There's no way they won't approve it. We won't send it to you when the time comes. Yang Lei nodded and took the mask. Yin Shui gave her the same bronze mask as Sikong Chiyu's. Then, under Lei Hua's lead, the group arrived at the teleportation hall. Lei Hua handed over the spirit stones, and the 4 of them stood on the teleportation array. After the guards placed the spirit stones in place, Knight Sorrow once again felt the large space spinning. However, it only lasted for a while before the space stabilized. Then, under Lei Hua's lead, the 3 of them walked out of the teleportation array. The guards of the Southern Dipper sect who were guarding the teleportation array saw the masks they were wearing. They bowed and didn't say anything. This kind of mask was everywhere, and everyone knew that it was the symbol of Tianji Tower. What about you guys? Be careful. With this mask, there won't be any problems. After they were some distance away from the teleportation array, Lei Hua said. Thank you for your hard work, Senior, Knight Sorrow said. Let's go back. If you want to go to Dongxian City, take the teleportation array here. If there's a problem, I'll settle it with the people of the Southern Dipper sect. Lei Hua nodded to Night Sorrow's people and returned to the teleportation array. He had sent them here, so it was time for him to go back. After leaving Stardew City, Night Sorrow's group rode on their flying demonic beasts and set off for Medicine Valley. Ninth Senior Sister, if there's a suitable demonic beast, let's exchange it for the Azure Condor. Night Sorrow said. It really doesn't have much potential. If there's a suitable mount, I'll leave it at Taishian Peak to retire. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow's Tianyu was already at the peak of the 3rd rank, and Sikong Chiyu's Fire Phoenix was already at the middle of the 4th rank. The Azure Condor was no longer suitable for him. Tianyu hasn't advanced during this time. Is it stuck? Night Sorrow asked as he looked at the Tianyu beneath him. You don't understand demonic beasts. The more talented a demonic beast is, the more difficult it is to advance. However, once it advances, it will have a limitless future. Furthermore, advancing can also awaken the innate bloodline in its body, Sikong Chiyu said to Night Sorrow. There was still a long way to go. Night Sorrow's group traveled during the day and rested at night. The journey was very comfortable and relaxing. In the past, Night Sorrow was worried about the dangers when he traveled through the vast wilderness. After all, he couldn't even defeat the 3rd and 4th ranked demonic beasts. But now, it could be said that he was swaggering forward. There were high-level demonic beasts, and there were also venerables. However, they were all in the deep mountains and swamps. They wouldn't appear in the areas ruled by the Southern Dipper sect, the Golden Flame sect, or the Medicine Valley. After all, the venerables of the Southern Dipper sect and the Golden Flame sect wouldn't allow such a threat to exist. After traveling for 6 days, Night Sorrow suddenly woke up from his meditation when he rested at night. This was because there was a strong energy fluctuation on Tianyu's body. This made Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu, who were resting in another tent, come out. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. It's a breakthrough. Sikong Chiyu released the Fire Phoenix to be on guard. Yang Lei looked at Tianyu, whose feathers were vibrating like water ripples due to the energy fluctuation, and said, It's a big commotion. Yes, when my Fire Phoenix broke through, it didn't cause such a big commotion. It's a lot weaker, Sikong Chiyu said. Night Sorrow was very nervous about Tianyu's breakthrough. In his heart, Tianyu wasn't just a mount, but also a companion. He didn't want anything to happen to Tianyu. In the second half of the night, Tianyu's aura became even more violent. Then with a long cry, Tianyu's aura changed. Rank 4 Demonic Beast. Tianyu had entered the rank 4. After entering the rank 4, Tianyu's aura continued to rise. His cultivation also continued to increase. Rank 4, Rank 4, Rank 4, Rank 4, Rank 4, Rank 4, Rank 3. It only stabilized when he reached the peak of Rank 4. Ninth Senior Sister Chiyu, what's going on with him? Night Sorrow asked worriedly. He's been at the peak of Rank 3 for a long time. He's been holding back and waiting for today. His bloodline has been stimulated, and his battle strength will increase greatly. We can't judge it by cultivation, Sikong Chiyu said. The energy on Tianyu's body was still flowing, and it was channeled into his beak and claws. After a while, Tianyu's beak and claws shone with a golden luster. When the energy on his body dissipated, Tianyu's aura stabilized. Then, he flapped his wings and soared into the air. He circled twice in the air before landing beside Night Sorrow. He used his head to bump against Night Sorrow's shoulder. Night Sorrow patted Tianyu's neck. You just broke through. Go stabilize your cultivation. When Tianyu successfully broke through, Night Sorrow was very happy. It was as if he had broken through. Ninth Senior Sister, this Tianyu hasn't reached adulthood yet. Sikong Chiyu said as he looked at Tianyu, who was lying down to stabilize his cultivation. Rank 4 is still not an adult. This means that he's at least a Rank 5 adult. At the very least, he's at the peak of Rank 5. This is too ridiculous. Yang Lei's eyes were filled with shock. Chapter 355. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Whether or not a demonic beast has reached adulthood depends on the state of the energy circulation in its body. The energy in a young demonic beast's body spreads in all directions, allowing its body to continue growing. If it reaches adulthood, then the energy in its body will circulate in a restrained manner. It's a completely different method, Yang Lei explained to Yishang. I see. I understand now. After hearing Yang Lei's explanation, Night Sorrow observed carefully and realized that the energy in Tianyu's body was indeed as Yang Lei had said. It was extending towards its wings and claws. This Tianyu is really fierce. Look at its beak and claws. They are both greenish-gold in color. One look and you can tell that they are lethal weapons, Sikong Chiyu said. Haha. It'll level up again very soon. Yishan laughed heartily. He was simply too happy. The three drank and chatted until dawn. Only then did they ride Tianyu and Fire Phoenix and fly. Tianyu's speed soared. Fire Phoenix chased after him with all its might. In less than a month, the three returned to the Medicine Valley. They didn't go to Danding City. Instead, they flew towards South Sky City. Night Sorrow wanted to go back and visit Gu Ye's father. First, the three went to Guan Ye's house to visit his parents. They also left some gold notes. At the same time, they learned that the officials of South Sky City often came to visit. This made them feel relieved. After leaving Guan Ye's house, the three of them went to Bamboo Garden Town. After flying a circle above Bamboo Garden Town, Night Sorrow and the other two controlled the flying demonic beast to land in front of Gu Ye's father's bamboo house. Gu Ye's father. Night Sorrow waved his hand at Gu Ye, who was standing in front of the door. Why are you back again? A man should be more manly. Don't act like a child and run home for no reason. Gu Ye's father looked at Night Sorrow. Although he was reprimanding him, his eyes were filled with joy. I have a flying demonic beast, so it's not hard for me to come back. Bamboo Garden Town is doing well, said Night Sorrow as he helped Old Man Gu sit down in the courtyard. This time, the scale of the reconstruction has been expanded a little. South Sky City has really put in a lot of effort. The road from Bamboo Garden Town to South Sky City has been opened, and the demonic beasts on both sides of the road have been chased away. Old Man Gu said with a smile. As long as things are going well here, I'm relieved, Night Sorrow said. Your world is outside, so you don't have to worry about family matters. You two girls take a seat. Let Night Sorrow do the work later. Papa Gu waved his hand at Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu, who were brewing tea. It's nothing. You two can chat. Yang Lei smiled at Father Gu. How have you been these days? Work hard in your cultivation and become a great expert as soon as possible. Daddy Gu patted Night Sorrow's shoulder with one hand and said, Papa Gu, Night Sorrow is now a great expert. He has killed countless opponents. Sikong Chiyu gave Night Sorrow a thumbs up. Night Sorrow, what's your cultivation level? Papa Gu sized up Night Sorrow. Yes, Spirit Severing Stage 6, Night Sorrow said. Spirit Severing Stage 6. You said Spirit Severing Stage 6? Papa Gu stood up with a shocked expression. Yes, Spirit Severing Stage 6. Night Sorrow nodded. On this point, Night Sorrow was very proud. In the past 2 years he had really worked hard in his cultivation. This was his achievement. Good. Very good. Our family also has a great expert at the Spirit Severing stage. Let's go and burn incense for your ancestors. Papa Gu was very excited. He pulled Night Sorrow to the bamboo house to get some incense and candles. Then they went to the 2 graves behind the bamboo house. The graves had already been renovated. The tombstones had been changed, and green bamboos had been planted on both sides. Night Sorrow lit the incense and candles and bowed. Papa, has this place been renovated? Night Sorrow asked. In the past, there were many weeds around the graves. Now it was very clean. In addition, Night Sorrow also saw that the offerings placed in front of the tombstones were fresh. It's the people of the town who came to pay their respects. The prosperity of Bamboo Garden Town was brought by you. When you weren't around, everyone felt that it was their responsibility to pay their respects to the 2 seniors on your behalf. Papa Gu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that this was the simplicity and gratitude of the people in the mountains. When Night Sorrow and Papa Gu returned to the courtyard, Uncle Nyo and the elders of Bamboo Garden Town had arrived. Uncle Nyo was holding 2 jars of wine in one hand, while the other villagers were holding game. I reckon that the two of you are almost done talking. I'm here to drink with you. Uncle Nyo said. Hee, let's do it together. Night Sorrow hasn't eaten the food at home for a long time. Auntie Lin called out to the villagers and started to get busy. #authentic first release. It feels so safe to be back home. Night Sorrow said to Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei, who were chased back by Auntie Lin with a smile. Of course, this is the feeling of home. Yang Lei said. You guys wait here. I'll go get 2 fresh game back. Night Sorrow took the iron spear and bow hanging under the eaves of the bamboo house and left the courtyard. Night Sorrow had the sky-piercing spear and the reincarnation spear, but they weren't hunting equipment. They belonged to cultivators. The iron spear and bow were the equipment for hunters. Carrying the bow and the iron spear, Night Sorrow shuttled through the mountains in front of Bamboo Garden Town and found a familiar feeling. The large demonic beasts had been chased and killed by the guards sent by Southern Sky City. However, there were still small game. Night Sorrow hunted an antelope, a gazelle, and 2 pheasants before returning to Bamboo Garden Town. Aha! As expected of our Bamboo Garden Town's best hunter. Your actions are so nimble. You only went out for half an hour, and already had so many game. Uncle Nyo took the game from Night Sorrow and said. At night, everyone ate the fresh game. After eating, Uncle Nyo and the others left. After they left, Yishang took out the origin spirit liquid and gave Papa Gu a drop. Then he let Papa Gu rest. Although Father Gu couldn't cultivate and didn't have true qi, the spiritual origin liquid could improve his constitution. After Father Gu went to rest, Night Sorrow brought Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei around Bamboo Garden Town and told the 2 girls about the past. This place will slowly change. The construction of the Medicine Valley cities depends on the location, but it also depends on the cultural situation. Danding City is the first city now because the founder of the Medicine Valley was from Danding City. At that time, Danding City might have been a small village. When you become stronger and your status in the Medicine Valley rises, the status of Bamboo Garden Town will also rise. Yang Lei said with a smile. I understand. I will continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. Bamboo Garden Town was close to the wasteland, so it was cooler at night. After taking a stroll, Night Sorrow and the other 2 returned to the bamboo house. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu rested in one room while Night Sorrow and Father Gu rested in the other. When they woke up in the morning, Night Sorrow cultivated his spear art in the courtyard. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu also got up to wash up. After Father Gu woke up, he watched Night Sorrow cultivate his spear art. After stopping his cultivation and looking at Father Gu, Night Sorrow realized that Father Gu's essence, qi, and spirit had indeed changed. This proved that the spiritual origin liquid was still very effective. Dad, you didn't sleep a little longer. Night Sorrow said as he put away his spear. I knew you wouldn't stay for long, so I wanted to stay with you a little longer. Father Gu said. Dad, why don't you come with us? Night Sorrow asked. Chapter 356. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Godson. Night Sorrow looked at Father Gu in surprise. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. I took him in a while ago. He was doing business with his parents and was attacked by monsters. His parents died. Seeing that he had no one to rely on, I took him in. There. That bamboo building belongs to him. Old Man Gu pointed at a building not far away and said. Then I'm relieved. I can't stay here for long. I'll be leaving later, Night Sorrow said. Go. My place is very good. Father Gu smiled. This is spiritual liquid. Take a drop every month. Also, you can't let anyone know about this. Night Sorrow took out a small bottle of origin spiritual liquid and said. You can keep it. You need these treasures for your cultivation. Father Gu shook his head and said. Father, just keep it. I still have more. Remember, you can't let anyone know about this. Yishang once again emphasized Father Gu. Night Sorrow stayed with Father Gu for 3 days. He found that Father Gu's body had improved greatly. Night Sorrow was relieved and planned to leave. Let's go. Don't worry about this place. Zhiyuan Town is no longer the Zhiyuan Town of the past. Father Gu smiled and said to Night Sorrow. Knowing that Night Sorrow was leaving, Uncle Neo once again pulled Night Sorrow to his pub to get some wine. Auntie Lin also gave Night Sorrow a robe. You can buy the robe, but the underwear is still made at home. It's more comfortable to wear. Thank you, Auntie Lin. Night Sorrow nodded. Remember to come back when you have time. Also, don't worry about this place. Chen Chen is a good child and very filial. He can take care of Father Gu. Auntie Lin said. Chen Chen was Father Gu's godson. I'll be going then. Take care, everyone. Night Sorrow released Tianyu and pulled Yang Lei onto Tianyu's back. After Sikong Chiyu rode Fire Phoenix into the sky, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and began flying. At the same time, he waved at Daddy Gu, who was watching him leave. Now you can rest assured. There's someone taking care of Father Gu, Yang Lei said with a smile. It'll be better if someone takes care of him. Night Sorrow nodded. Although he did not see Mr. Gu's godson, who could be considered his brother, Chen Chen, Night Sorrow felt more at ease. Tianyu and Fire Phoenix were very fast. After resting for a night, it took them 2 days to reach Danding City and return to the Dragon Spring Courtyard. Io, the 3 of you are back. How was your run? Seeing the 3 of them, Lin Yiqian greeted them with Aoi. Very cool. 6th Senior Sister, you don't know that we were honored guests at the Thunder Rumbling Sect. Then we took the transmission array to Dongxian City, Yang Lei said with a smile. Not bad. You're also very confident. Qing Ji said as she poured tea for them. 13 bought a very nice house in Dongxian City. It's very nice. In the future, us brothers and sisters will have a place to stay in Dongxian City, Yang Lei said after taking a sip of water. Isn't every inch of land in Dongxian City expensive? Our Medicine Valley only has 1 foothold and 13 bought a house. Aoi was also familiar with Dongxian City and had been there once. Baidu search AI go xiaoshua www.aichux.com who is 13. He's now a law enforcer for the Black Iron Guards of Dongxian City. He's someone with an official status. The house was arranged by the City Lord Mansion's people. It's located in a big area, Yang Lei said. R13 can make a name for himself wherever he goes, Aoi said with a smile. 6th Senior Sister, has there been any news recently? Night Sorrow sat down and asked. No, the Golden Flame sect has been very obedient. The Scarlet Flame sect hasn't done anything either. However, it seems that the people from the Thunder Rumbling sect have come to visit. I don't know the details, but I've heard about it, Aoi said. Thunder Rumbling sect? I wonder if Lei Bao and Lei Zheng are here. Night Sorrow was stunned when he heard the news. Let's rest for a day. We'll go back tomorrow, Yang Lei said. Aoi was stunned when she saw Night Sorrow's cultivation. 13. What kind of elixir did you eat? Your cultivation has reached level 6 of the spirit severing stage. How are we going to survive? I didn't eat anything. I just worked hard on my cultivation, Night Sorrow said with a smile. You're working hard. Aren't we working hard too? Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow. 6th Senior Sister, don't be angry. I brought you a gift. This is a spirit tranquility pill. It's enough for you to cultivate to the peak of rank 4. Night Sorrow took out 2 bottles of spirit tranquility pills and gave them to Aoi. One of the bottles was a spirit congealing pill, which was a resource given to Night Sorrow by Tianji Tower. That's more like it. Let's go back to Taishian Peak together tomorrow. I'll take you to the wine cellar. I guess you don't have any wine left, Aoi said with a smile. Night Sorrow and the other 2 laughed. Night Sorrow really didn't have much wine left. That night, Night Sorrow didn't stop. He spent the first half of the night with Sikong Chiyu, and the second half of the night with Yang Lei. They were indeed together for a long time. After a night's rest, Night Sorrow and the others rushed to the Medicine Valley. More than an hour later, the 4 of them arrived at Danding Peak. They first went to Danding Peak to visit Yu Yangyu, but they didn't see him. They saw the Great Elder in the Danding Hall. 6th level of spirit severing. You won't stop until you shock people to death, but well done. The people of the Thunder Rumbling sect came to visit and exchanged words with us. They are willing to become allies. They came for you. In addition, there are also 2 outstanding disciples of the Thunder Rumbling sect who asked if you came back. The great elder looked at Night Sorrow and said, "Those are my friends. When did they come?" Night Sorrow asked. "A few days ago. They are still in the VIP pavilion." The great elder pointed in the direction of the VIP pavilion with his cane. "Then I'll go take a look later." "Where is my master?" Night Sorrow asked. "You won't be able to see the Valley Master for a while. He is in seclusion. It is a long seclusion. This seclusion is especially important for your master and the Medicine Valley." The great elder looked in the direction of Danding Cliff and said. Night Sorrow and Yonglei looked at each other. They understood that Yu Yongyu was trying to break through to the Venerable Realm. Then Night Sorrow and the others returned to Taixian Peak. There they saw Gong Xian, but no one else. 13. Your cultivation is too ridiculous. You are hurting your senior brothers. Gong Xian said with a smile. CX_ on section Y of chapter QF, eldest senior brother. I can only refine level 4 pills now. I can't help you with the resources, but I have something to tell you. Night Sorrow said. He wanted to talk to Gong Xian about the cultivation of soul power. Why are you being so polite with your eldest senior brother? If you have something to say, just say it. I will help you. Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and said. He thought that Night Sorrow had encountered something difficult. Night Sorrow told him that carving and alchemy could strengthen soul power. Then I will try. Gong Xian nodded seriously. There is no need to try. We have already tried. The effect is obvious. This is a shortcut that paves the way to the Venerable Realm. Yonglei said. Chapter 357. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 13 Ninth Junior Sister. How do you plan to deal with this matter? I think we should inform Master. Gong Xian expressed his thoughts. We'll do whatever eldest senior brother thinks is appropriate, Night Sorrow said. There are many alchemists in Medicine Valley. Many of them cultivate true qi, and use their true qi cultivation as the foundation for alchemy. Almost none of the rank 5 cultivators practice alchemy, so they don't know about this. What a pity. Aoi sighed. Even the rank 5 cultivators who occasionally practice alchemy don't think in this direction. Gong Xian nodded. All right then. We'll return to Bamboo Forest Peak first. Call me if you need anything, Night Sorrow said. I've renovated Bamboo Forest Peak for you. Go back and take a look. If you're not satisfied, just tell me. Gong Xian nodded to Night Sorrow. I don't live there, so it doesn't need to be too good. Also, here are some rank 4 pills. Eldest senior brother, take them and distribute them to my other seniors. Night Sorrow took out the Spirit Calming Pill and Black Tranquility Pill that he had refined. So many. What kind of medicinal pills are these? Qingji took the bottle of medicinal pills and opened it. After examining it, Aoi looked at Gong Xian. They're all top-grade Spirit Calming Pill and Black Tranquility Pill. 13. Where did you get so many resources? Gong Xian asked. I obtained some materials in the alternate dimension. After entering rank 4, I practiced alchemy and turned them into pills, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Your seniors are lucky. You just came back. Go rest first. Gong Xian said with some emotion. After leaving the Supreme Mystery Hall, Aoi pulled Night Sorrow to the Bamboo Forest Pavilion and gave him some wine. Only then did she let Night Sorrow return to Bamboo Forest Peak. The Bamboo Forest Peak had changed its appearance. There were several new bamboo buildings, and the surroundings had been cleaned up. That's right. We'll each have a seat, and there'll still be some left. Guests will also have a place to rest, Night Sorrow said with a smile. After cultivating for a whole night, Night Sorrow got up early. After greeting the 2 girls, Night Sorrow drove the Tianyu to the VIP building of the Medicine Valley. In the training field in front of the VIP building, Night Sorrow saw Lei Bao and Lei Jing training together. Haha. You finally came back. If you didn't come back, we would have left. Seeing Night Sorrow, Lei Bao came over and gave Night Sorrow a bear hug. After hugging Lei Bao, Night Sorrow also hugged Lei Jing. Junior greets elder. Night Sorrow bowed to Elder Lei Juyun of the Thunder Rumbling School. Love go little say, 'cause there's no need to be polite. Lei Bao Lei Zheng, you guys have to work hard. Lei Juyun said with a smile. He was shocked because Night Sorrow was only at level 4 when he first arrived at the Thunder Rumbling School. What kind of medicine did you eat? Lei Bao punched Night Sorrow and said, I just drank a little too much. Come. I brought wine. Night Sorrow took out a jar of green leopard bone wine and placed it on the table in front of the VIP building. Then what are you waiting for? Let's drink. Lei Bao took out the wine bowl. After the wine jar was opened, Lei Juyun and the other 2 Thunder Rumbling School elders also joined in. Night Sorrow, Danding Cliff of the Medicine Valley is a sacred place. Take us there in the afternoon to have a look, Lei Bao said. I can take you there, but if you want to climb the cliff, I need to apply to the school. Night Sorrow said. He couldn't make the decision to let the Thunder Rumbling School's disciples climb Danding Cliff. You don't need to apply. You can just take them there in the afternoon. 13 You two. How can you drink with the guests like this? Great Elder and Qianwu came over. Haha. Great Elder is too polite. I'm familiar with him, so drinking like this is a different feeling. Lei Juyun said with a smile. That's right. That's true. It feels good to drink like this. 13 At another bowl, Qianwu said. Great Elder and Qianwu sat down to drink. Night Sorrow, Lei Bao, and Lei Jing felt uncomfortable. I don't know why you guys are so uncomfortable. Go. 13. Take them to Danding Cliff to have fun. Great Elder said to Night Sorrow and the other 2. Night Sorrow led Lei Bao and Lei Jing to Danding Cliff. You broke the Thunder Rumbling Tower's record. Then we will also try to break your Danding Cliff's record, Lei Bao said. It's hard to say. Danding Cliff only has records for the entire rank. That is to say, the record for the Yuan Gathering rank is 4,500 meters, the record for the Core Condensation rank is 5,400 meters, and the record for the Severed Spirit rank is 6,300 meters, Night Sorrow explained to the 2. Let's try suppressing our cultivation, Lei Bao said. We have to try. Lei Jing nodded. When they arrived at Danding Cliff, Night Sorrow told Elder Su about Lei Bao and Lei Jing's situation. No problem. You guys can start. Elder Su took a deep breath and said after checking Night Sorrow's cultivation. Then Night Sorrow and the other 2 used their peak Yuan Gathering rank and started to climb the cliff. The 3 of them were very fast. Soon they reached 4,000 meters. The pressure is really great. Brother Bao, we have to continue. The record of 4,500 meters is not far from us, Lei Jing said while rubbing his hands. Record of 4,500 meters? What record? A disciple who was cultivating on the platform asked. We have to break the record for the Yuan Gathering rank, Lei Bao said while patting his chest. The record of 4,500 meters for the Yuan Gathering rank is old history. Martial Uncle Knight broke this record a year ago. The current record for the Yuan Gathering rank is 5,100 meters. Night Sorrow didn't know this disciple because the Medicine Valley was also recruiting new disciples. Why is it 5,100 meters? Lei Bao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. 4,500 meters was set a year ago, Night Sorrow said with a smile. You are really a scammer. Curiosity killed the cat. Since you want to try, then continue to work hard. Lei Bao shook his head and continued climbing. Night Sorrow and Lei Jing didn't stay idle. They also followed behind. It had to be said that Lei Bao and Lei Jing were very strong. The 2 of them used their peak Yuan Gathering rank to climb to 4,300 meters before they couldn't take it anymore. Night Sorrow, I am puzzled. How did you climb to 5,100 meters? Isn't this nonsense? I don't believe it, Lei Jing said while releasing his 3rd rank cultivation. What are we betting on? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. I have a jar of 100-year-old wine here. Now that you have reached 5,100 meters with your Yuan Gathering rank, let's open it and drink, Lei Jing said. I thought you were giving it to me. You want to drink some back? How shameless. Then I will climb for you 2 to see. Night Sorrow didn't act shamelessly. After controlling the cultivation of the Myriad Dao Tome to the muscle strengthening rank, he started climbing. I/only Yijing. Addition Bichio Hido is I equals Rob addition caret. Night Sorrow's body was too strong. He didn't need Junqi or the energy of the myriad Dao Tome to reach the third rank. It wasn't difficult for him to climb 5,500 meters below Danding Cliff. Under Lei Bao and Lei Zheng's astonished gaze, Night Sorrow climbed up without any difficulty. At 5,500 meters, Night Sorrow stopped. Lei Zheng, take out the wine. Do you really want to climb 5,100 meters before coming back to drink? Brother Bao, I will definitely not bet with him. This is the second time I have lost. Lei Zheng took out a jar of wine gloomily. Chapter 358. Genius 1 Second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. You too. You're ruthless. Lei Zheng had no choice but to take out an antique jar and open it. Love go little say W Chu. The three of them took 3 bowls and drank 1 bowl each. Lei Bao stared at Lei Zheng and didn't let him drink more. Eternity. Free GF Fee 2 read novels QQ Night Sorrow, you're too shameless. Your body strength and strength are not even comparable to a rank 3 practitioner. Lei Zheng said gloomily. The highest record set by our ancestors in the Medicine Valley at Danding Cliff was 4,500 meters. If there was nothing special, how could I come up? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lei Zheng. Brother Bao said a few words to you. It's enough to suffer once. Last time, you almost lost your bird. Don't you remember? I asked you to take out this 100-year-old wine, but you refused. Now you can drink it without a favor. Not bad. Lei Bao said while drinking. You two are really shameless. Holding the bowl, Lei Zheng looked at Night Sorrow and Lei Bao with disdain. Lei Zheng drank the wine as if he was going to bite his enemy to death. After drinking, the three of them continued to climb. Night Sorrow didn't plan to cultivate today. He just accompanied Lei Bao and Lei Zheng to experience Danding Cliff. Love Gom little say W Chu soon. The three of them reached the 6,000-meter platform. On the 6,000-meter platform, Night Sorrow took out a jar of strong wine that Uncle Neo gave him and opened it. This place is completely different from the Thunder Tower. The cultivation on Danding Cliff is very solid, and the speed of improvement is very fast. It's a kind of basic training. The Thunder Tower focuses on actual combat, Lei Bao said. Night Sorrow, I can't climb anymore. Where did you climb before? Lei Zheng couldn't take it anymore at 5,800 meters. It was Night Sorrow who brought him up. Lei Bao's altitude was slightly better than Lei Zheng's. Night Sorrow said. I've been here, and then I kept running around and didn't have time to climb. The previous record for the peak of the core condensation realm was 5,400 meters. You too should be content with reaching 5,800 meters. The record for the peak of core condensation is 5,400 meters. Then the 5th level of spirit severing should be 5,900 meters. We only reached 5,800 meters. Lei Bao thought for a while and said. That's a record that has been created in Medicine Valley for countless years. You're only 100 meters away. Aren't you satisfied? Said Night Sorrow. That's true. This is a good place. With the help of Danding Cliff, the disciples of Medicine Valley should be able to improve their cultivation very quickly, Lei Bao said. Not at all. The restrictions here are very strict. You need to contribute to the sect. You have to work hard to complete missions. It's good enough if you can cultivate here for 1 or 2 days a month. Night Sorrow took a sip of wine and said, Then do you often do missions? Lei Zheng asked. No. There is a rule in Medicine Valley. The disciples who break the record can cultivate however they want on Danding Cliff. Night Sorrow said with a smile. I have nothing to say. You're awesome. Lei Bao gave Night Sorrow a thumbs up. The three of them didn't continue climbing. Lei Bao and Lei Zheng couldn't reach 5,800 meters. It was meaningless to continue climbing. Night Sorrow didn't want to show off. He could climb the cliff at any time. At 5,900 meters, Lei Bao and Lei Zheng cultivated for a while. After sensing the aura of Danding Cliff, the three of them went down. Night Sorrow accompanied the two of them to play around in the Medicine Valley. Under Lei Bao's strong request, Night Sorrow brought them to Crepe Myrtle. When they arrived at Crepe Myrtle, Night Sorrow felt a little numb. He was still a little scared of Crepe Myrtle. Junior brother Night, you're here. Why don't you go in? Are these two guests from Thunder Rumbling Sect? Tang Qianqian came from the front of Crepe Myrtle Square and asked, Senior Sister Tang, these two are the guests of Thunder Rumbling Sect. They are also my good friends. They heard that Crepe Myrtle has many beauties, so they had some ideas. I couldn't not bring them here. Night Sorrow took a step back unkindly, and let Lei Bao and Lei Jing stand in front. This was a shameful thing. Night Sorrow wanted them to lead the charge. Night Sorrow, you're too disloyal. Lei Jing grabbed one of Night Sorrow's arms. Lei Bao did the same. Both of them grabbed one arm each and pulled Night Sorrow back. Hee. A gentleman would like a fair lady. This is nothing. Let's go in and sit. Tang Qianqian said and led the three of them to Crepe Myrtle Side Hall. These two little brothers are not bad. Why? Are you interested in Crepe Myrtle's disciples? That's not a problem. I'll bring you around later. Tang Qianqian said with a smile. After staying for a while, Night Sorrow left. However, Lei Bao and Lei Jing did not leave. Tang Qianqian and a few other Crepe Myrtle's disciples asked them to stay. They wanted to bring them to other places to have a look. Night Sorrow went to the VIP building. After telling Lei Juyun about Lei Bao and Lei Jing's situation, he returned to Bamboo Forest Peak. You're back. Seeing Night Sorrow return, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, who were practicing carving in front of the bamboo building, put down the carving knives in their hands. They were now sitting opposite each other and carving each other. I played with these two guys for a while, and then threw them into Crepe Myrtle. Night Sorrow sat down and said with a smile, You're too mean. The senior and junior sisters of Crepe Myrtle are not losers. These two are going to be unlucky. However, this is also a good opportunity for them to develop. Yang Lei said, What do you two think of the effect? Night Sorrow looked at the jade carvings on the table and asked, It's effective. If anyone tells me that cultivators do these things for fun, I'll strangle them to death. Yang Lei said, That's good. With a strong soul force, it will be easy to enter the one with the world realm. As for the increase in cultivation, we have pills and resources. By the way, do you think it's better to cultivate with spirit stones or pills? Night Sorrow asked. Spirit stones. However, it's a bit extravagant to cultivate with spirit stones. Spirit stones will be very useful in the future. Sikong Chiyu said. We have clear void pills now. It's no problem to use them to assist in cultivation. Yang Lei also said. You too can use spirit stones to cultivate. Increase your cultivation as soon as possible. By the way, ninth senior sister, I have a question. Will the alternate space open next year? Night Sorrow asked. I don't know. It depends on the stability of the energy in the spatial passage. I haven't asked about this before. Is there a problem? Yang Lei asked. I found a lot of spirit stones in the cave where the water origin stone and the fire origin stone are. There's no reason for the nihility origin bead and the baleful origin bead to not have spirit stones. I didn't consider this before, so I overlooked it. Night Sorrow said. Even if there's no problem with the dimensional passageway, you won't be able to enter. You should know that your cultivation base has already exceeded the third step. The dimensional passageway will reject you due to your powerful energy, Sikong Chiyu said. That's a problem. Let's see what happens next year. Night Sorrow shook his head, a little disappointed. Chapter 359. Genius 1 Second. Remember love divided by small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Sikong Chiyu was talking about the nihility origin bead, which was the core origin of the void fiendish space. If Night Sorrow could get it to recognize him as its master, he would be able to control the void fiendish space. Night Sorrow and the other two had communicated and determined that the nihility origin bead was the true origin bead of the void fiendish space. The baleful chi origin bead was only a subsidiary, not the true core origin. Night Sorrow nodded, but he also knew that it would be extremely difficult to get the nihility origin bead to recognize him as its master. How could the core of a small world be so easy to get it to recognize him as its master? It also had its own spirituality. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He didn't need to deliberately study carving like the two girls. When he cultivated his true chi and the myriad Daos treasured tome, his soul power was increasing. While cultivating, Night Sorrow drank the origin spiritual liquid and held the ice spirit blood essence in his hands. The ice spirit blood essence was much more effective than elixirs. There was no need for Night Sorrow to absorb it. It ran into Night Sorrow's body on its own. Night Sorrow understood that this was the characteristic of the ice spirit blood essence. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to trigger the ice spirit well. He cultivated for an entire night. When he woke up in the morning, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his spear art. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Yu brought Lei Bao and Lei Jing to the bamboo forest peak. Love go small say network Night Sorrow, you are too unkind. How could you just leave us like that yesterday? Lei Jing said after sitting down. That was giving you a chance. You couldn't let go of me if I was there, Night Sorrow said while making tea. All right. You always have a reason. Crepe Myrtle has a few good girls, but their requirements are a bit high, Lei Jing said. What is it? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Senior Sister Tang said that we can try to communicate, but the girl I like said that if there is a future, even if I don't visit her, I will live on both sides. If I stay in Thunder Rumbling Sect for a year, I will come to Medicine Valley for a year. Lei Bao curled his lips and said, everything else is a pirated version of WTF. So what? If you like her, you have to fight for her, Night Sorrow said. It's easy for you to say that. If we agree, won't the elders punish us? Lei Bao said. That's nothing. It's just staying on both sides for a while. Young Lei said with a smile. Walking back and forth is too time-consuming. Lei Jing rubbed his head. He didn't want to think about the past. That's nothing. We can take the teleportation array from the Thunder Rumbling Sect to the Southern Dipper Sect. Isn't that close? Night Sorrow said. That's true. If Medicine Valley is stronger, you can destroy the Golden Flame Sect and take their teleportation array, Lei Bao said. Conflicts are inevitable, but I believe that it won't be a problem to build a teleportation array in Danding City in the future, Night Sorrow said. Just because you said so we will fight, Lei Jing said with a wave of his arm. Then, they chatted and talked about Night Sorrow's trip to Dongxian City. Night Sorrow casually told them about his situation in Dongxian City. You are doing well. That way, when we go to Dongxian City in the future, we don't have to stay in the sex store. We can go directly to your house, Lei Bao said. No problem. When you go there, just say my name. It's called Qingxin Courtyard. It's in the back street behind Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow said. That's not bad. Next time we go to Dongxian City, there are places to eat and drink, Lei Jing said after taking a sip of tea. This was the difference in background. As one of the 7 superpowers in Dongxian Domain, Thunder Rumbling Sect's disciples could go to Dongxian City easily with the teleportation array. However, Medicine Valley's disciples couldn't. If they wanted to go to Dongxian City, they would have to travel mountains and rivers, wasting months. After a while, Lei Bao, Lei Jing and Yu left. When they left, Lei Bao and Yu said that they would continue to Crepe Myrtle. These two guys, it seems like they were really subdued by the Crepe Myrtle girls. This is a good thing, Yang Lei said. Because Lei Bao and Lei Jing were both in Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow didn't go back to the Dragon Spring Courtyard. There was no point in going back. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu were both here. For the next few days, Night Sorrow cultivated his true chi and myriad Daos tome at night, and his spear art during the day. When he was free, he went to drink with Lei Bao and Lei Jing. Lei Bao and Lei Jing spent most of the day in Crepe Myrtle. After half a month, Lei Juyun and the rest decided to leave. Hua Yinpeng, who was in seclusion a few days ago, came out and met Lei Juyun and the rest. Thunder Rumbling Sect's goal of visiting Medicine Valley's supremacy was achieved. Lei Bao and Lei Jing came to bid farewell to Night Sorrow. They were going to follow Lei Juyun back to Thunder Rumbling Sect. Night Sorrow also knew that the two of them had hooked up with 2 girls in Crepe Myrtle. They were both Tang Qianqian's disciples. Night Sorrow and the Grand Elder sent Lei Juyun and the rest out of Medicine Valley's mountain gate, before returning to Bamboo Forest Peak. After Lei Bao and Lei Zheng left Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow planned to go to Danding Cliff to cultivate. To Night Sorrow, the Spirit Severing Stage 6 to Spirit Severing Stage 7 was a very important stage. After entering Spirit Severing Stage 7 and eating the Tranquility Pill, he was not far from entering Spirit Severing Stage 8. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu supported Night Sorrow's decision. Although they felt sorry for Night Sorrow's hard work, they were more concerned about Night Sorrow's safety. In this chaotic world, increasing one's strength was the only way to increase one's chances of survival. The two of you don't need to save resources. Use the spiritual stones as you wish. We have plenty of them. After giving Sikong Chiyu and Yang Lei 100 high-grade spiritual stones each, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and left. Shursan's resources are much more abundant than ordinary sections. However, in the eyes of others, he is just a grass. This kind of misconception is really fatal. Yang Lei said with mixed emotions. With Night Sorrow's resources and strength, he can defeat any young master in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. I don't know how long he will cultivate this time. I reckon he won't come back until he breaks through. Yang Lei glanced at the direction of Danding Cliff and said, the two of us also need to work hard. The gap between us and Night Sorrow is not much. It's very easy for him to catch up with us. I don't want to be a flower vase. Sikong Chiyu touched her hair that was messed up by the wind and said, yes, we have to fight side by side. Fortunately, Shursen gave us a lot of resources. Our cultivation bases improved faster. I'm not far from the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage. Once I reach that level, I can eat the Extreme Void Pill. What about you? Yang Lei asked. I still need some time. After all, I didn't break through as early as 9th senior sister. Sikong Chiyu said. While Sikong Chiyu and Yang Lei were chatting, Night Sorrow began to charge towards Danding Cliff. Night Sorrow, who wanted to improve his cultivation base quickly, planned to charge higher. The higher the position, the more abundant the energy and the greater the pressure, the stronger the tempering force. When he was at the peak core condensation realm, Night Sorrow could already reach 6,000 meters. Now that he had entered the 6th level of the Divine Severing realm, Night Sorrow directly reached 6,500 meters. Feeling a little pressured, Night Sorrow began to meditate to recover. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.